Hello, children.
Whoa. Hi.
Hi.
It's me.
This is my real voice.
That's yeah. It's Jeff's trade for years so that he doesn't sound like that.
Yeah.
Like Fat Albert, maybe.
Hey. It's like Booger from Revenge of the Nerds.
I have not seen Revenge of the Nerds. Thank God.
That's a bad movie. You're fine. You're fine.
Yeah, I bet it's pretty dated.
Oh yeah.
Isn't it just about like nerds? Like we'll show them by being pervert creeps.
Yes, basically. Yeah. Essentially, yes.
Yeah.
Now we're
yeah.
happy.
Revenge of the Nerds. Of those movies suck.
That's their revenge. Their revenge is on women for not wanting to...
Yeah, basically.
There's
yeah,
a little rapey shit.
They're incels.
Oh, yes, it is. Very much so. All right, let's see. How do I do a podcast?
How do we pod?
All right, that's there. I'm gonna move everything up. No, okay.
No, I don't want to watch Seinfeld. Seinfeld and Naruto, the same shit.
Basically. See, so who is the face, who's the muscle, and who is the brains of the operation?
Who's the Lancer? I like the Lancer.
George
Shut up, Mike.
He's short, stocky, and very strong, so he's the muscle.
Okay.
Sherry is the brain, of course.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's kind of insulting calling Elaine Sakura. I don't want.
I mean, that's how it's not her fault that's how it works, but it is like that's how they're always treated, as the useless chick. That's how they're always treated. So.
No, Elaine is good.
Elaine's fantastic. Yeah, absolutely. Is it?
Let's not talk about this. We're talking about
Wednesday
tomorrow. You forgot to post the last one, Grubb, I think.
Oh, the Naruto?
Naruto.
Oh, yeah. I did forget, didn't I? Okay, I'll do that tonight, everybody. If you are a supporter, you will get Naruto 4. Is that what we're on? I think it's the 4th episode of my Naruto.
Yeah, we're gonna do one today, Grubb, because a lot of shit is happening.
Okay.
Give me a heads up so I can leave.
Yeah, you can leave whenever you want. Shit,
sometimes I come back, you guys are already in the middle of it. I feel bad leaving without saying goodbye, so I just sit there and I wait and wait.
That's just weird.
So you gotta give me heads up. You gotta give me an opportunity to peace out before you start going on to your new.
I would just assume.
You wait until Jeff realizes that he wasn't recording, and then
listen, I've only done that 3 out of the 4 times. Let's be real.
Kyle, I saw that tweet, by the way, and I almost responded to it. I'm like, well, you know what? It's obviously a stupid tweet. I don't need to respond to it. I'm not gonna change anybody's mind. I'm gonna move on with my day.
Okay, so there's that. We are streaming. I didn't test that. There it is. There it is. Let's go.
Later in life.
I don't have to wait in later in life. It's right now. Yeah. I have kids, and I spent most of my dinner tonight telling them to behave in a restaurant. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't see the big deal here.
I like your tweet, Jeff. The last of the Nintendogs before I go to my first AEW show and become a man.
Yep. Here it is.
Very good. We're gonna see a world title match.
Apparently.
I've seen an AEW world title match yet, actually.
Are we expecting shenanigans?
Well, I don't know. I there could be, like, by shenanigans, AEW doesn't do too many shenanigans, so it could be like a time limit
but they have
draw.
to build.
Now,
okay.
Here's the exciting thing. Maybe all this stuff about CM Punk is true, and he's actually, like, really mad and gonna leave, so he's just gonna lose here. I don't know. It could be incredible. The point is that you shouldn't go into it thinking, well, there's no way there's just going to be a clean finish. There could be.
Okay, well, I'm excited.
But Will Ospreay's going to be there from New Japan. He is very good. So we'll get to see Will Ospreay wrestle. He's in that trios tournament.
Oh, yeah.
I think so. New Japan Wrestling.
Well, you know what? Let me turn this on.
Oh, you know, I thought you said there's going to be some Sharingan for a second there.
Well, that too.
Hey, is that clip of Rouge God? Is that just from like Snapcube? Is that what that actually is? That must be from Snapcube. They talk about peeing in that a lot.
P. The Life of P. I keep calling that game Life of P.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, Life of P, not Lives of P. Zelda HD went. Stay tuned.
They're so scared of Disney, they won't even call Gemini Cricket Gemini Cricket.
You guys hear me? Start cheering!
And we'll talk about it a little bit, but that was obviously the highlight of Gamescom.
What, Lies of P?
Yeah. I mean, maybe you disagree. I don't know.
I didn't get a good look at it. It's just such a weird concept, this Pinocchio Soulsborne game.
Don't call
I
it
mean,
that.
sure.
You want them to be sued? What the fuck? It's P. It's just P. It's a toy boy. It just happens to his name happens to start with P. It's not Pinocchio.
It's a boy toy. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I know it made the game a lot more exciting, personally.
Does his nose get bigger?
Mamma mia, a talking puppet.
That's Ferdophobia.
Dev, is that on Amazon? We need to watch that movie. Actually.
I'll
have
look
to
and
watch
see.
that.
That would be
I'm gonna look
fantastic.
right now.
Yeah, please.
Amazon Prime Pinocchio. You know what? I gotta get Dan Reichert to watch fucking
Secret of the Ooze.
no
the
Money Plane.
Oh
That
yeah.
action movie made with Edge and Kelsey Grammer's also in it.
Oh my god, of course he is. Kelsey
all
Grammer
the
loves to
money
get paid.
plane.
I think Dan Reichert would unironically enjoy that.
That movie, okay, that movie's trash, but it's a good time. If you watch it
I've
with
only
friends.
seen the Red Letter Media thing on it. I never
I've
watched
seen it on a Discord. You know, it's funny.
I don't think the CG Pinocchio cartoon is on Amazon Prime, sadly.
Nah, it's so fucked up. We could
Isn't
probably.
it up? What
We
an
should
awful world.
just pirate stream it
Yeah, we should
and
just
risk
watch
it.
it on the stream.
We should just risk
who is
it.
even gonna say
We can,
something?
Right.
we can make it happen on the Discord. We can do a lot of crimes there.
Yeah.
Listen, what
I'll allow
happens
it.
in the secret channel stays in the secret
Yeah,
channels. If you
there we
know what I
go.
mean.
There we go. I can make it a special event. All right.
Jeff, you had to apply to the partnership. It's the button is already like they're like you're gonna play again. It's like, oh fuck.
I know, but
Maybe
every time I do it,
this year
they
is
just make
our
me feel
year.
bad. They're like, we don't like you enough. I mean, we're not going to give you a
Wow.
partnership.
You had to. You're in John Bum now. You can like pull some strings. And some shit.
Yeah, I mean,
got
I like
strings,
know.
dude.
I know the Discord people. I could have pulled strings a long time
your
ago.
Streets of Rage pillow so good.
Yeah, it is. There's both sides. Hang on.
I can't wait to touch that pillow.
Yeah,
When I get
tomorrow.
there I'm gonna touch the hell. Oh, you've got Simpsons Arcade ready for
sounds
me and
weird.
AJ, right?
Yeah. We can show it off. Hang on. Let's see here. Let me get your video in here.
Have you played it? Have you played it?
A little. I played like the first 2 levels and then I stopped so that we can enjoy it together.
That's right.
Uh,
I got a new Uniqlo shirt on today. I liked those Final Fantasy anniversary shirts so much that I actually did that obnoxious thing where you like give them your phone number and they text you all the time. And they're like, we have Mickey Mouse shirts. Now I have this 8-bit Mickey Mouse shirt. Very
it
good.
looks pretty good.
Oh, he's in. The guy by the balls.
Oh yeah, Uniqlo.
green
Very
screen?
comfy.
Okay, Mike, I'm freaking out here. What the hell is this Dreamworld Coke flavor? I can't put my finger on
It's
it.
mango watermelon, someone described, and I think that's right.
It feels vaguely mango, but there's something else there.
I described
don't
it
know
as
what.
the tropical starburst flavor. Like, you know how there's starburst and there's tropical starburst? I think it's that. That's
On
my favorite.
on Player One podcast, they were talking about this at the beginning, and just one mention of the word mango got them on a 10-minute tangent talking about Chris Kattan on SNL because he played a character named Mango.
That awful character.
Yes.
I hate. There was like 20 skits of that guy.
Yeah, and it's just like, it was always weird because like they didn't have the technology to like to time it, so it'd be like Garth Brooks going Mango, and then like 3 seconds later, Mango would show up or whatever, and it was like, oh my god, the timing on this is terrible. And I would never refer to that skit here, Mike, because the audience and Sean and I can't remember your name, Christian from Argentina. I just wanted to call you Argentina. Then I'm like, it's not his
Mr.
name,
Argentina.
Mr. Argentina.
Not quite right about
I'm the
that.
king of Argentina.
Yeah, I was just gonna,
King of planet Argentina.
Sean and Christian Argentina King, they're too young to like know what the hell a Chris Kattan is, let alone Mango.
No, it's just probably.
I know who
honestly,
Chris
kinda
Kattan
envy
is.
them.
Yeah,
But
me too.
you
Lucky.
shouldn't.
I'm a
That's
bit young. You know, Christian's only a few years off from Mikey, right?
Whoa.
Yeah, still
Hey.
though. That's
I'm
like
Argentinian though.
that's in
We don't have
Argentinian
SNL
years.
here.
Exactly.
I'm Argentinian.
Oh, true.
Are
They don't have
you-
as much
you
processed
Italian?
food.
Yeah,
You
I'm from
Argentinian?
Argentina.
Jesus.
Because you're so Argentine.
Don't go super Argentinian.
Mike, can we hear about your Spanish that you natively speak?
Yes.
You mean
Hola.
C?
Miyama S. Miguel.
It's Miguel, yeah.
My llama's Miguel. All right, let's go.
Let's fucking go.
Let's go.
Perfect.
All right, I'm ready to do this podcast. You ready, Mike?
I'm ready to give Mike the
Miguel,
fucking
ready.
citizenship.
What's the Spanish word for ready? Gandalf, what's the Spanish
Listo.
word for friend? What's that?
Listo.
Miguel Listo, or Listo S. Miguel.
Jesus.
Yo,
Well,
Tango!
Take,
All right, I am going to. What do I need
yeah,
to
well,
do?
I fucked your mom. Thank you.
Oh, is that Eamon Goldie already sending that to you? That's fantastic.
Yeah, thank you, Mengoldi, for the.
All right, here we go, everybody. I'm counting down. I'm ready to do this show and then talk about Naruto afterward. All right, here we go. I'm counting them right now.
Wait a second. Oh, I had that text message, Chris. Because 59 is a number. So this is episode 59. And it's like, some people have numbers they just see everywhere, probably because it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. But my brother sees 59 everywhere. And every time we see 59, we have to message each other. This is episode 59, so I have to bug him.
Fair enough. All right, I've seen that Jim
We didn't
Carrey
hear the
movie.
music, by the way.
Numbers.
Hey,
Yo, you guys don't hear it?
Yeah, we didn't hear it.
oh, is there
We
playing right
didn't
now?
hear
I
it.
know.
Over it?
Yeah. I get it. I know what happened here. This is fine. Wait.
This
yes.
is fine.
This is fine.
hey, you guys hear
There it
me?
is.
We're here now.
Start cheering now.
Nice
Okay.
stuff. Not 69, 59.
Hey, what was 59? There's
Later.
another 59 in that. Okay, whatever. All right, Mike.
Kojima turned 59 today, so that's why we were giggling about that too.
Yeah, but
And he posted the candles.
Jordan Midler said nice to me when I said 59 on the show.
Yes,
and
that's
what-
right. Okay,
What was that
so
reference
I
to?
think maybe there's something actually to it. That's right, because he said 59 and he said nice, and he said not the sex number.
There's no
I'm telling
way
you.
this could be confirmation bias.
No, absolutely not.
I don't believe it.
For a double-digit number, that's a lot of 59s.
Yeah, it is. Okay, let's do this. You ready, Mike?
Yes, sir.
5, 4, 3.
Hey, you guys hear me? Start cheering now! Yeah, let's get this over with. Yeah.
Woof woof. Hi, I'm Mike Minotti, and I am a Nintendog.
Hi, I'm Jeff Grubb, and I'm a Nintendog.
And we are the last of the Nintendogs.
Woof,
Today,
woof,
Gamescom has given us some release dates. The box of the Switch is smaller, I guess. And we're talking about our favorite Nintendo racing games. Jeff, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I got a couch set. You know what? Let me just bring it up on camera for everyone watching the video version. Like, so you can see I got a couch over there in that room now. And
My couch.
Yeah, and it's actually pulled out as a bed right now as we're speaking because the kids like to lay on there and watch movies.
I can
and
see me. I can see me on your
there you
screen.
are. All right, and there's all our secret channels. Look, don't enhance, don't enhance. And
Enhance,
then
computer enhance.
computer enhance. And then over on that couch, you can see my Streets of Rage pillows. There's the one. I think my
Those are
chair's in the
good.
way.
Those are very good.
Yeah, I got that. And then I got an Astrobot hoodie that I kind of want to show. I'm gonna go grab it. Hang on.
Do it. Oh, you have an Astrobot hoodie? That's really good. I'm actually really jealous of that. Shit. I can't wait to make Jeff beat that game. Oh, it's white. That's so classy. Oh, I like... Oh, my God. He's got a normal PlayStation hoodie also.
Yeah, I got. So it's from Insert Coin. Let's see here. There's that
Do you think...
PlayStation, and then.
Do you think... Not to make everything about Xbot Killer, but do you think that he's like, man, I can't believe he's just buying merchandise now to try to trick me into thinking he doesn't hate PlayStation?
I hope so. I hope that's what he's thinking.
That Astro hoodie is so good. When they finally announced their new game at Asobi, and
Yeah.
the Astro,
Hopefully
I'm so
soon.
excited.
Turn this.
I'm
There we
so
go.
excited.
Yeah, I'm like very much into this Insert Coin clothing. So they also on the hanging up on the thing over there is that Kojima Productions hoodie as well, which is, or not hoodie, that's like a nice jacket. I'm very into that. It was kind of all on sale too, so I was very into it.
All right, Jeff. Well, we're gonna start by talking a little bit about Gamescom. There wasn't a ton of Nintendo stuff there. It was a little bit, but I do want to know, like, what did you overall think of Gamescom? I know you're doing the Bombcast.
Yeah, we had it on in the background.
Man, I'm envious of you. I think as background viewing, it may have worked better than this is what I'm focusing all of my attention on.
Yeah, it was fun to like check in every 10 minutes or so and be like, oh, something weird has happened. Hey, look at the color of Randy Pitchford's pants. That's fun. And then we like tuned it out for a really long time because it was a lot of trailers for games that we knew were coming. Yeah, there were release dates, but that's stuff I could talk about on Game Mess mornings tomorrow and feel like we're going to be completely caught up. So it just was like, okay. It wasn't even as exciting as and I brought this up on the Bombcast, like a Toys R Us Midway VHS tape.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
Well, there were so many, and there's nothing wrong with new franchises, new games, but one, they all looked a little derivative, and so many of them had CG trailers. And
Yeah.
I know the CG trailer thing's an old complaint, Jeff. There was a lot of that. And it's a really weird move when you have a new game. Like, so at the end, you had Dead Island 2, right? And we start with the CG trailer. And again, it's like, okay, who cares? And then they had a gameplay trailer. I was like, this is so much better.
Yes. Yeah. I was pretty excited by it. And like the buzz on Twitter like changed immediately too. Like gameplay trailer. Hooray. This looks legit. It's like a lot of the stuff I saw.
So why do they spend so much money on these CG trailers? Or they just go
It's
out
got to
to
be
these
like,
studios?
I hope they're probably just recutting them up and using them for commercials, or they're probably like the CGI trailer. We need that so we can cut that up and put that in the front of like YouTube videos, as YouTube ads or whatever.
Yes, maybe.
And maybe it works better with that audience. It sucks in an event like this though. It like completely destroys the momentum for me these days. I'm super over it. I'll tell you what though, I was like 1000% vibing with the tweet I saw that you put out later, because when I was peeking over at the show and I'm like, oh, this is Hogwarts Legacy. I'm like, why is this so grimdark? It's like those fucking movies. Why is this the tone this series keeps going to? It sucks. It's so bad. And like you point out later, it's compared to the theme parks, which are lighthearted and fun. This stuff is boring and miserable. And I hated it. I hated the way Hogwarts Legacy looked now.
Guess what's the only like Harry Potter thing that's been universally liked in the last like 2 decades almost, right? It's the theme parks. It's like, but what if like the kids have to decide who gets to torture who?
Yeah.
Like, what?
What are you talking? How did we get here? This sucks.
And like, I get there have to be some stakes. You probably can't literally just have a game that's like Hogwarts Simulator, but
sure.
I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, they should be like fun Sherlock Holmes mysteries. It's kind of what those books always were, with like Sherlock Holmes Jr., basically, but with magic and stuff. Just do that stuff instead, whatever.
Instead, we're going to have to talk about the goblins, and I bet they're going to try to like address the weirdness of it. We'll see if they do it well. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of highlights. Some of it was straight up bad, like that first game, which looked like the most metaversy blockchain, but they haven't said the word blockchain yet.
Yeah, that was Leslie Benzi's game, right? Everywhere?
Yeah, everywhere.
Yeah, it's I'm gonna have to go back and like look at that a little bit closer, but I kind of like, this is the GTA Online guy. This is the guy that like was the closer for all these GTA games. He's probably gets a lot of money. It's gonna be a big deal, but I don't know. From what I was looking at, it was like hard to put a finger on even what it is.
There was so much we are presenting this like the next big thing energy, which is always rough, Jeff.
Yes.
The next big thing is usually something like Fortnite, which was originally like a derivative small scale like zombie wave game that then just ripped off this other more popular game, and then that becomes the biggest game ever. It's hard to do these things. So I don't know, maybe I'll eat my words and everywhere will be the biggest thing. Life is P. Chat put that on me. Lies of P looks pretty good. Not a Switch game though. So some of the actual stuff related to Nintendo here, Jeff. Sonic Frontiers got a new trailer and a release date.
November 8th.
November 8th. Pretty much every platform imaginable, including Switch. You don't see too many games that are cross-platform with like Xbox Series X and Switch.
After Saints Row comes out and just like forces itself out, regardless of whether it needed a delay or not, and got blasted in the review scores, do you think that's going to happen with Sonic Frontiers as well? Or I mean, are they confident in pushing it out and not delaying it because it is going to be ready?
I think it's coming out no matter what. I'm not. It could be because they actually are confident. It could be because they're like, it has to come out before Christmas and it's going to sell well anyways. We've released bad Sonic games before, buggy Sonic games before, and they've also made money. or whatever. It'll be one of those things.
Yeah.
Gosh, this whole Saints Row thing is so interesting, Jeff. Again, it's like another non-Nintendo tangent.
I mean,
was kind of talking to you a little bit.
Right, yeah. I mean, we'll talk about it more on Thursday because I will play it before then, I think. But yeah, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I guess I just wonder. Usually a lot of game companies can't afford to make even one flop before they're just straight up in trouble.
Yeah.
And this game has not flopped yet. It just came out, but the reviews are not good. Like, what happens if Volition has Agents of Mayhem and then this reboot back to back, and neither of them do well?
I mean, do we know in any way how Embracer would behave in regards to this? Does Embracer care? Embracer probably knows what they're doing with sort of just like forcing these games out before they're ready. I bet
eventually Embracer's going to have to actually start making money and not just spending money, right? But maybe it's not
I hope so. Otherwise, I'm very confused about how this whole thing works. I'm like, at a certain point, you just get so big it doesn't matter anymore. What is happening here? So, I mean, I agree, but I mean, does that come down to Volition messing up twice in a row, or does Embracer have to take the heat for this one for like just its business model being broken? I don't know. It is confusing because I felt like this game could not be what it is. It could not be a 65 whatever on Metacritic, and yet here we are. It comes out and it's a kind of a wet fart, and even the people are like, I didn't have a bugging experience. But boy, it got real boring real fast after a only okay start. I'm like, okay, man, this just sounds miserable.
Christopher Dogs, is that true? Did they cancel the Game Museum? Jeez. Wait, is the Metacritic score really a 59, Pablo Cost? You shut up.
It started at 59. It went up over the first couple of days.
That's why you said it.
It's
a 67 or now, so slightly better. That's all. You think? I wonder if Volition just gets put onto like some sort of Lord of the Rings thing. Basically, what Square Enix did with Crystal Dynamics.
Yeah.
Like, just give them a big IP, and it'll be fine.
Yeah, we could talk about this more. I wonder if they get like one more chance to do Saints Row, but now it's an actual sequel, Saints Row 5 or whatever. But we'll see.
I always hated how they were like, we can't make it more ridiculous. Like, yeah, you can. Just have them be like Star Trek captains now. Make them kaiju. Like, what?
Time traveling. Yeah, make a spiritual successor to Chrono Trigger with the Saints Row characters. Just go nuts. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Oh well. But so we had the new trailer with Sonic Frontiers. Also, we got to see a villain. We got to see a new biome, so people don't have to worry about that. I know you're not the biggest Sonic fan ever. I don't know how much you got to pay attention to it, but this seemed like the best trailer we've gotten.
It's looking better for sure. There's definitely something was up with this marketing campaign where they just couldn't nail down how to message it. It's definitely looking better than it has in the past. I'm like sort of hopeful at this point that this game's going to be at least like a fun diversion, a Sonic trying to be somewhat like inspired by Breath of the Wild, and maybe there's like a lot of like potential there. And if it doesn't realize its full potential, oh well, it's Sonic. Big surprise. But it's like as long as it's not a mess, as long as it's like trying to be decent, I'll be happy with it.
There aren't too many like 70s Metacritic Sonic game. Maybe this could be a 70s one, and that would actually be a nice surprise.
Yeah, it'd be a relief.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's actually in an 80, like a Generations or a Mania, or it's just like in the 60s and lower. So maybe this would be the 70s one. Actually, now I said that, I actually want a 70s Sonic game where he's like really into disco. That'd be good too.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Another release date here, Jeff. Return to Monkey Island is launching on September 19th. This is only coming out on PC and Switch, at least to start. Might hit other consoles later. We got another trailer for this. I am excited for my Monkey Islands. This is coming out pretty soon. We've been waiting for a release date on this one. We do not have to wait very long, so I am happy.
Yeah, I was. I guess I was a little surprised it was coming so soon. Did we know that it was coming like relatively soon?
We knew it was this year. They always said 2022. So
yeah, but like the Sonic was like this year, and it's like November 8th, and I'm like, it's kind of what to expect for a game that's still coming out this year.
Right, but like something about Monkey Island, and I don't know. It seemed like it's ready to go in a way that it's not going to have last minute hurdles, at least as much as an open world Sonic game's going to have. Right.
Yeah.
So I always thought it could be a September game. I was second guessing that a bit as we were getting into late August, but here we are. I think they know that the Monkey Island fans are going to show up whenever they tell them to. They don't care too much about the timing. They don't want to shadow drop it per se, but it could be a bit of it's coming out in a few weeks situation.
Yeah. And Nick Turbo says, I thought people hated Saints Row 4 for being too wacky, and other people are like, they were doing superheroes. It is wacky. We mean wackier. Like they were like, the reason they said they needed to do a reboot is because like, oh, it's too crazy. And so how do we go beyond this? And I'm like, well, I can think of a lot of ways. I bet you could too if you really thought about it.
I think people like Saints Row 4. I thought that one did really well. I think maybe 3 might still be the most popular
Yes,
one.
people like thought there was diminishing returns because they were kind of like doing the same ideas, just a little bit more. They were amplifying it. So it's like Saints Row 4 didn't land for quite as many people, but generally Saints Row 4 is liked, especially compared to like Gat Out of Hell and stuff like that.
Yeah, I kind of want to play 4. Maybe I'll get that on Switch.
It's good, and the characters are great.
Yeah. You got Vice President Keith David. That's what's
Roddy Piper, I think, shows up in that one.
Jeff, we are not getting a Nintendo Direct, but we are getting a Nintendo Treehouse Live presentation on August 25th, starting at 9:30 a.m. Pacific. It's going to have 3 segments. One is a deep dive into Splatoon 3 single-player mode. Another is stages and strategies for the Splatfest world premiere demo, which is happening pretty soon here, some point towards the end of the month. I think you can download it now even. And then separate from Splatoon, we're going to get gameplay for Harvestella, that Square Enix sort of futuristic Harvest Moon-like game that they are making. So,
yeah, I'm excited that they're like including Harvestella here. To me, that's like, oh, maybe that game might be legit.
I have some hopes for that.
Yeah, me too.
When Harvest Moon style games are good, that's nice, and there was something appealing about Harvestella, even just the fact that like the setting is a little different. I like that sci-fi thing going on there. It didn't look ugly, so that's pretty good. So yeah, I have high hopes, or at least some hopes for Harvestella. And then a bunch of Splatoon 3 stuff. The Nintendo Treehouse Live thing is always nice because it's basically their way of saying, don't expect announcements here. We are telling you exactly what we're going to show you, and that is what you are going to get. So it'll be fun to watch, I think. I'm kind of in the thing where I'm going to play that Splatoon 3 single player. I don't necessarily need a deep dive in it. I'm good just being surprised on that.
Yeah, and it's like I like the Treehouse Lives right after E3 because it's like, a Metroid got announced there once, and there's so many games for them to go deep in. It's like as a news writer, it was cool to get like here's a chance to like pull out a cool tidbit and make a headline based on that. Splatoon 3 is pretty well-known territory. Like, we're not going to get a lot of surprises even from a deep dive. But, hey, I'm probably still going to watch it a little bit. And if they just go on and on, they'll just tune out, and that's fine. It's a Treehouse Live. That's fine. People that really care will keep watching. But, overall, I'm still kind of like, okay, when are we going to find out more from what Nintendo is doing? It feels like this is them, like, getting stuff off their plate for the end of August so they can maybe do something in September. What do you think?
Yeah, I almost hate being here again, Jeff. We get asked a lot when you think a direct's gonna happen, and for a while, I said I don't think one's happening. And new information has come to light. I think there might be a direct in September.
Yeah, seems that way.
And not only that, it's another question we get asked a lot, Jeff.
I get asked a lot of questions, Mike. Why don't you tell me?
When are those Wind Waker Twilight Princess HD ports coming out?
Seems like they should probably do that soon, I think.
They should probably do that soon. And if there's going to be a direct in September, maybe that's a good time to do it.
I mean, it would be like, okay, just going beyond like the things that we've heard, right?
Yeah.
It makes so much sense. They want a Zelda thing every year. They aren't going to have one this year unless they pull one out of the back pocket. They may have just sitting around. And whenever I talk to people that, have some insight into Nintendo, like it goes so like the thing of them holding on to games goes so much deeper than what I realized. So many games they are holding on to, apparently. Mm-hmm. That's
not something that people make up. It is just actually true.
Yes. And I think if there's a direct next month, we get Metroid announced for November. We get Twilight Princess and Wind Waker announced for, I don't know when, but they finally say it's coming to Switch probably soon.
It could be. Like it could be this year, but it could even be like, hey, this is the thing you're gonna buy like early next year when you get your like Switch for Christmas or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? Or all you people who have Switches, we know you've been asking for it. Well, now we announced it, and you don't have to be mad at us anymore.
Yep,
so,
absolutely. So
yeah, I think it is in fact happening. And who knows? Maybe it could be part of some kind of a look at Breath of the Wild 2. Or maybe we'll just get a name, and they know, well, just saying the name for Breath of the Wild 2 isn't much. But guess what? In the meantime.
Exactly.
We're be able to play Wind Waker again,
and it's like, yeah, and like we're gonna give a time frame for the next Zelda and stuff like that. So this is clearly a marketing push towards that again, like we always talked about they were gonna do when the game was gonna come out earlier than it has. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense. It's also what we've heard. It seems about right. And there's a lot of like beyond like that stuff as well. People keep talking about Nintendo having something in September, as well as Sony, as well as this opening night live. Apparently, there's going to be a lot of shows in September. So cool. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for them to just say Metroid Prime again. Let's get it going. Yeah.
Jeff, usually it's just you in this boat, and I'm just like with it. I also heard it too.
Yes.
We have the same source here, so I'm in the boat with you now. If something goes wrong, I now understand your anxieties having to talk about these things.
Do you have an upset tummy? Because I remember the first time with the Nintendo Direct, when they did not announce it the day before, I got the squirts, Mike. I got the squirts.
That makes me think of the first time I went on Space Mountain Disney World. Basically, my dad said we wouldn't go to Disney World unless I would go on Space Mountain.
Wow.
Probably a lie, but I felt really obligated to go on it. So I was like, I was so scared that it felt like I had to take a crap.
Yes.
But I didn't. So I was just like, I was stuck in the bathroom a lot. My brothers think that I was like hiding in there. I was like, no, it feels like I do. I don't understand. I'm scared.
Bodies are so stupid. It's like, if I'm having anxiety about something like going wrong, why is my body's reaction like, I'm gonna make you feel like you have to take the worst shit of your life? How does that help anything, body? You're so stupid.
Maybe it's like, look, if you need to run soon, we better empty things
we better
out
evacuate the bowels. Yeah, this could be it. So you better be light on the feet. What the stupid body.
All right, Jeff. One last thing here in the news. Nintendo has announced that the Switch box size is going to be reduced by 20%.
What a weird company.
Jeff, why?
So they can fit more on a shipping container. It saves them money. That's all there is to it. But it's just so weird. And this is for like the Switch Red box, right? This isn't for the Switch OLED or the Switch Lite, which already have pretty low, like small boxes. Yeah. Like the Switch OLED has that vertical box that is smaller than the red box. So I guess that $200 or the $300 model is going to have a smaller box going forward. All right, fair. I mean, like shipping containers are expensive. Shipping materials are also expensive. So any way you could save money is going to make it that's money earned. So it makes sense. But it's just weird that Nintendo's like, surprise, here's what we're doing. We're reducing the box size. Even if that's not necessarily how they framed it, it's still how it gets treated because it's Nintendo.
Yep, exactly. All right, Jeff, that's it for the news. So we got a few other things to do on this show today. We have some super chats coming in. We have questions from the community. We have a topic this week, which is, what is your favorite Nintendo racing game? So that's going to be fun. We're going to be reading the questions from Discord first here. But if you are watching live, please do hit that thumbs up button. We always appreciate it. It helps where people find the show, and it just makes our egos a little bit happier too. Just speaking of egos, we're going to be seeing a pro wrestling show tomorrow. It's going to be exciting.
I'm very excited about this. I'm ready to see what's going to happen with CM Punk. I'm ready to I'm ready just to feel those vibes in person. I never have. The most wrestling I've seen in person was at a fair where some luchadors were just putting on a show, and there was a crowd gathered and stuff like that. So it was cool, but it was like just in the middle of the thoroughfare. Like it was like the walkway, and there was a ring suddenly. I'm like, this rules. And then, my wife was like, no, we have to go. So I'm like, yeah, fair enough. All right. Yep.
Hey, Gene Park is in chat. Hey, Gene, how's it going?
Howdy, Gene. Listen, I'm gonna become a man tomorrow. I'm going to see wrestling.
Let's see wrestling. I've seen Gene tweet about a lot of things. Wrestling has never been one of them, unfortunately.
No, that's fair.
So
that's fair.
I don't know if he has any opinions about
I think he'd still enjoy his show in person, I'm sure.
Oh, I think he absolutely would.
Yeah.
Everybody does. Like even AJ doesn't really follow wrestling nearly as much as I do, but he always is happy to go to a show with me because it's always
yes.
Time, so.
I was thinking maybe we could have saved that Nintendo Direct stuff for the sign tomorrow. I could have just put it on a sign and be like, Nintendo Direct September, Twilight Princess, Wind Waker coming to Switch, and then just see what happens. See if anyone put that in a story. I thought that would have been fun, but I don't want to struggle to get it on TV. So.
I know that, I thought that I doubted you, by the way, but it was still it was so funny to me seeing that Killer Clowns from Space game show up during Gamescom.
I mean, listen, every time I talked about it, I talked about it for a couple weeks. First of all, no one picked up that story.
No one picked up. Everybody was like, wow, this is really new information.
Yeah. And so I'm like, all right. But also whenever I talk about listen, I don't know if this is going to happen. This is a weird one, but it was like, yeah, it's real. And it's exactly what got described to me. I'm pretty surprised by that. I need to check that source again to see what they, what else they say.
Good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's get to these questions from our community. First up here from Dugan. Happy belated Dog Days of Summer, which is apparently July 3rd to August 11th. Woofos.
What is
How
that?
about some...
Keep going. No, just keep going. We'll talk about when you're done.
We want to talk about... We can talk about the Dog Days
Yeah,
of
I didn't know
Summer
that there
right
was
now.
like official dates for the Dog Days of
didn't either.
Summer. What does that mean?
That was just something people said in novels. Like, it was the
Right.
Dog Days of Summer.
Yeah, she's oh, you're a sweet summer child, which apparently is from the A Song of Ice and Fire books, which I kind of like. Oh yeah, of course they are, but it feels so much older. But I guess those books are pretty old because he's been writing them for forever.
Yeah,
but
that's
like
true, actually.
Dog Days of Summer, I didn't like official dates. Is it like the Ides of March? I don't get it. I'm gonna look it up.
I don't know what to investigate this. Anyways, Dugan says, how about some speculation in the slower news time? Based on the current track record of new Nintendo IPs, is the House of Mario still in the new idea business, or will they just keep reviving old IPs? I mean, they have new ideas sometimes, but it's not necessarily about launching some kind of media franchise. Like Ring Fit Adventure was a new idea, but it's not like, oh, this is a character that's going to be in Smash. Although, granted, it could also be a character who's going to be in Smash. They put Wii Fit Trainer in Smash.
Mhm.
But if you mean in terms of like the next Splatoon or ARMS, like I guess what was the last real effort that felt like, well, like a new Nintendo franchise? I guess that would be ARMS, right? So
Yeah,
is the next
I mean,
ARMS happening.
It's video games though, right? And like video games can be really different from one to the next, even if it's the same IP. Like Super Mario Galaxy 2 compared to Super Mario Galaxy 1, yeah, like the same fundamentals are there, but there are so many new ideas in Super Mario Galaxy 2. It is just like, it's a parade of new ideas that other developers were afraid to try. So for me, I never really need like them to like, I mean, sure, a new IP is fun, but I don't need it for them to come up with new ideas.
Benji Glasskey says, hi, Noodleheads. There's already Fire, Hammer, and Boomerang Bros. If you were a bro, what would you throw?
Beef
That's
Bros.
fun to say.
Yeah, we just start
Bros is
beef.
good. I like enemies in video games that use yo-yos, and I used to like yo-yos. I think that would be fun. Way
The
to
Yo-Yo
add
Bro
Mario.
Bros.
The Yo-Yo Bros. That's
Yeah.
good. It's catchy. The Yo-Yo Bros who throw their yo-yos. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds offensive, like just vaguely offensive somehow. You bunch of yo-yo bros, you dirty yo-yo bro. Yeah,
Bros.
it's called Dog Days because it's when the star Sirius rises with the sun, which makes so much sense that I'm like kind of frustrated. Like, of
Man.
course, yeah,
I would. It makes sense, but I also never would have like realized that.
right. I never, my entire life, never ever occurred to me even a single time. No way.
Serious. My character could turn to a dog and named Sirius
Yep.
Black, and like maybe he's evil.
Yeah. I'm Professor Lupin, and you guess what I do? Yep, there we go.
Yeah, we're not even gonna talk about Chao Ching.
Fucking
Actually,
no.
watch that video essay by that guy.
Yeah.
I just listened to it. It's so good.
Yeah,
It's the best
because
video
it's like
essay ever.
he's like, I'm
it's
afraid.
even better than Line Goes Up or whatever. It's so good.
Yeah, it's so, and it's like I'm afraid to say what she was thinking when she came up with the name Cho Chang, but it's probably some onomatopoeia like to reference like Asian languages. It's like, oh, gross.
Probably true.
Yep.
All right. Dr. Turbo says, hey, Jeff, avoiding squeezing the tiny little thing. Oh, that was an all-time favorite moment of mine on any of our podcasts, Jeff. Thank you.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, you're welcome.
And Mike, raw dogging the Switch Minati. After having lots of fun with Call of the Lamb's fishing minigame and Kirby and the Forgotten Lands fishing minigame, I wondered, what are your top 3 fishing minigames on Nintendo games? I thought the stars where you had to fish in Mario Odyssey were pretty fun, Jeff.
Yeah, that was good.
I liked that. Animal Crossing fishing is always pretty cozy, and it's like a pretty big part of the game. And I like the whole you have to put them into your museum afterward.
And Link's Awakening fishing minigame because it's I think it's probably my first fishing minigame.
Fire Emblem Three Houses also had a good fishing minigame. I like that one.
I definitely played that Link's Awakening one in like a conversion van on my way to Boy Scout camp one time. So yeah.
Oh right. Yeah, that's neat too. Because it's like that 2D perspective. All of a sudden,
Yeah.
It's a bit different. Like, these days, most fishing mini games are the same, and that was something a little different. So that's
Yes.
nice. Next one here is from the Uncharted Wolf 5. Hey Jeff, Waverace, Grubb, and Mike should have gotten the points for Persona 4 Minati. I recently beat Apollo Justice Ace Attorney for the first time, and I absolutely loved it. But then I went online and realized that most of the Ace Attorney fan base consider it the worst one. If you ever had a game in a series you loved, but are then shocked that other people in the fan base view it as one of the worst, in the series. This is interesting. I Apollo Justice itself is interesting, Jeff, because it's probably my least favorite, largely just because of the weird characterization of Phoenix Wright in that game.
Right.
He kind of like became like a disenfranchised, like weird, not hippie, but yeah, it was a weird character change that they just undid in the next one.
Did he become like Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi?
A little bit of that, but like not like he was trying to help still, and stuff like that. But kind of that flavor, I suppose. But this like the cases were still very good in that game, like the murder mysteries and the puzzles and whatnot.
Luke was trying to help too, but keep going.
A fun time. So yeah, sure, Jeff. But yeah, no, I'm trying to think like specifically. Is there a I always remember as a kid thinking that I liked Mega Man like 5 a lot, and everybody was so dismissive of a lot of the NES Mega Man games that weren't 2 or 3, which is so that's like kind of an example there. Jeff's a big Fallout 4 fan, even though
I was going to bring up Fallout 4. Yeah, like I guess I was never surprised. Well, I reviewed it. So maybe coming out of it and being like, I really like this. This is a good game. But even then, I was like, maybe like, oh, I bet a lot of people are going to have. But I thought people were going to have issues with the thing that like we've talked about before, and some people do have issues with it of it being too much of the same in parts. Although then hearing people like really complain about the RPG stuff, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, they definitely. There's less of that. I get it. I don't know. I still had fun telling my own stories in some ways, and then I realized they kind of just went in a different direction with it. But yes,
tell your own stories. You're who they're making everywhere for. We want you to make your own stories.
I know.
This
hey,
is a game that just as much about the community as it is about us.
Hi, Nick. Listen, I will show up for the Benz mic. You know me, big GTA Online fan.
You know what? We didn't talk about the Pikachu car, by the way, at Gamescom. About that?
Yeah, I saw a Mini Cooper that is in some way related to Pikachu. I don't know. Is it even colored like Pikachu? It just like
it's an electric car. I think
it's electric car. Yeah, that was the thing. But it's like, does it have a projector that shows Pikachu movies in it? Like,
I wasn't paying attention, Jeff.
Neither was I. I was doing a podcast, and I'm like, we were like looking at this thing, like, what the fuck is this? And we never really found out. So,
Special Nick's just in chat bragging. He did tell me a cool story that I'm not allowed to share, but it was a cool story. So thank you, Special Nick. Maybe 2 years from now, when you forget you told it to me.
Yeah, there you go.
And it never materializes anyways. Okay. From Jedi Moss 4. Hello, beef and cheddar gents. 3 things are absolutes in life. Death, taxes, and Sega acquisition rumors. There's been constant rumors of someone buying Sega since before 2000 and hasn't slowed down over the past 22 years. Why are people seemingly obsessed with the idea of Sega getting acquired? I think some people are obsessed with it just because they actually want it to happen, right, Jeff? Maybe
right.
Not necessarily because it makes sense. But I don't know, Jeff. If Sega survived that recent wave of like acquisition madness, it might be safe for a while. Unless like Sonic Frontiers is some massive flop and they like need to sell or something like that. But that's hard to imagine.
Right. Like they weren't doing the thing that like Square Enix was doing, like trying to make themselves svelte and easy for acquisition. So it's not like they were even positioning themselves for that. I mean, maybe they could be in position for a merger, but they've done a couple of those already. They've merged with Sammy. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I think the big reason is that Sega is a name that moves needles for the kinds of people who are interested in fanboying and console warring, because it was the other game, it was the other non-Nintendo thing in the console war. And so if Sony or Microsoft acquire Sega, they like, well, we adopt all those fans come on our side for the console war. I think that's mostly what that's about.
If a Sega or Sony, like, if let's say Microsoft, Sega or Sony, if Microsoft bought Sega, would Sonic like become their mascot? What does it even look like?
No, I don't think Sony would be interested in that. Sony wouldn't acquire Sega. They're like, our mascot is prestige video games.
Yeah, I mean, I think like Sony would be interested in Square Enix at least, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen.
Right.
Billy Hatcher's Renegade Giblets. That's a good name. It says, Dear Mike Naughty and Jug. You see that, Jeff? He combined our first and last names.
Yeah.
Cute.
Yes, it's very good.
It's very good stuff.
No, Jeremy G just said Sega sucks, and Turbo Sean was not allowing it in chat.
I was confused. Like, what is this deleted?
I saw your face, yeah.
What is this? Out of all the Nintendo consoles and handhelds, which one has the worst game cases, and why is it the Switch? What am I meant to do with 2/3 of a DVD case? No, thank you. To be clear,
is the spine as big as a regular DVD or no?
What? Which one? Sorry.
So are the Nintendo Switch cases? I don't have a lot of the physical games. I had a
They're
few.
smaller. They're smaller.
So
not
they're
the size of a
shorter.
DVD
They're
case.
shorter
Yeah.
than DVD case. Okay.
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't know. That still beats a cardboard box to me. Cardboard boxes are the worst cases for video games. So
Yeah.
Super Nintendo and Nintendo 64s are kind of. I'm not even Game Boy Advances, Game Boys. I don't like cardboard boxes. It was the worst thing ever was when Sega went from those incredible plastic cases that still look great today for the Genesis to awful cardboard boxes.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, he said it was handheld. Is that what he said, or did he say console as well? Because
Console or handheld. So
okay,
anything counts.
the N64 cardboard was like especially bad. That's why like it's a pretty hard system to collect for if you want complete in box because that cardboard just disintegrated for some reason. They was like really cheap. So yeah.
Jamie H1224 says, since beating Call of the Lamb over the weekend, I've had the building management itch. So I decided to continue my Graveyard Keeper save from 2019 while I wait for Bear and Breakfast to release on Switch. Took a while to relearn mechanics, but my question this week is, what was the longest break you took from a game before going back to an existing save, or do you usually just start fresh? I usually have to start fresh, Jeff. I'm trying to think if there has been a good example of me like going back years later and finishing something like that. It's pretty rough. It's sometimes not even like the mechanics, just like what's going on. I just don't feel an attachment to this. It's the vacation problem, even where a lot of games as a kid that I would be in the middle of before I went on like a week-long vacation, even coming back from that would always be a hard time.
Yeah. It's definitely, I'm like, I played 12 hours of Pokemon Legends Arceus for a stream that we did. And then I wanted to go back to it a few weeks ago and I completely forgot how to play. And I'm like, okay, I really want to just keep this save going. So I'm going to force my way through that. But most of the time I would just restart. Most of the time I would. I'm not going to restart here. I did too much, like 12 hours in. I'm going to see it through. I would just make all the same, like, it's not a kind of game where it would be very different. And I remember most of it. I just don't remember how to play it. I'm trying to remember like the biggest break though. I definitely had there's a couple of good examples here, but I'm like maybe Civilization 6. I like had a halfway through playthrough and I like picked it up again or whatever, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's this like going back to MMOs, but that's pretty different. You're not going to re-roll a new character necessarily. That's a big investment. It might be soon because I was playing a bunch of Dragon Quest games, and then I was halfway through Dragon Quest 8, which like maybe not quite a year ago, but like 7 months ago, and I stopped. And at some point, I do want to get back to that, and that is going to be a pretty big break, especially for a JRPG. So we'll see if we can actually do that. Next one here is from Screaming Turbo Madden. Watching Mike play Wario World on Twitch actually reminded me that Wario World might have the single greatest instruction manual of all time, as it feels like it's written by Wario himself. My question is, can you name a greater instruction manual for a game than the one for Wario? Before you do, Jeff.
Yeah, no, let's see this. Let's see this shit.
Have this instruction
manual,
yeah. Which is a really cool thing about actually collecting these games. I have to admit, is like
Well, that's why you collect old games. Like modern games don't even come with any. They come with like a legal insert written by lawyers, and that's it. On a double-sided printed sheet. And let's take a look at this
thing. Has a like X-ray scan of Wario, and Wario himself includes notes. Jeff, do you know how much liquid Wario's bladder holds? Because I do now.
Can you give me the unit of measurement?
Gallons.
That's the last thing I was expecting you to say. Man, okay, 100 gallons.
No, it's
okay.
Let's not be ridiculous. It's just 1.1.
Okay.
Do you know Wario's shoe size?
It's 8.
11.
Okay.
He's got decent size feet.
He's got the same size as me. Shit.
Yeah. Do you know his weight in pounds? Not in stone, in pounds.
Not in stone, pounds. Okay, let's see. He is 185 pounds.
Jeff, he's a big boy. He
but
weighs
he's short.
308 pounds.
Whoa, that's a dense beef.
Yeah, that's a dancy beef. This instruction manual is great. I have things to say about Wario World later, Jeff, but short teaser. people ask all the time, like, what do you think is an underrated game? I think Wario World is
I'm playing this
easily,
next.
if not
I'm playing
the
this
most
thing.
underrated game I've ever played. It is very good.
I might play this. I'm going to play it on a Giant Bomb.
You should
There
definitely play it on Giant Bomb. It
Yeah.
is super good. Made by Treasure. Good stuff. But what is an instruction manual that you actually like better?
Fishy Love says I have small feet. How is 11 a small? Is that really small? Size 11?
I have 11, so it must be an okay size.
Yeah, right. No, it's not even single
It's
digits.
a very normal.
Get out of here.
Actually, maybe slightly above average size. So
yeah, I think so. Pretty sure. Yeah. Fair enough. WarioWare has a better manual actually.
Really?
Yeah, it's another Wario game, but that WarioWare manual for the Game Boy Advance one, Mega Micro games. It's like just this colorful fever dream all throughout. It's very similar to what you showed, but it's like even like it has all those cartoon versions of all those characters from the WarioWare games. And I think there's like stickers you could pull out and stuff. It's fantastic. It's so good.
You know, those manuals used to have a section for notes. Did you ever write down any notes in the manual?
I definitely wrote down some like very, very early on for games that didn't have battery backup and like Punch Out and stuff. But that's the only time I ever did that.
Like, I would write notes sometimes, but not in the manual. I would just get a piece of paper at that point. Velocity Prime 1 says, Dear Jeff, Mario Party Master Grubb, and Mike, I love Fortnite Minotti. After a literal year of listening to Mike talk up Star Tropics on the podcast, I finally decided to give it a play. With all the hype, I was quite surprised to find that it was a pretty decent Zelda-like game, with a novel setting and amusing situations, but nothing crazy. So 2 questions. One, Mike, justify to me the obsession with Star Tropics, and 2, what underrated game gets talked about so much these days that it can no longer claim to be underrated? I mean, so first off, Star Tropics is good. Nostalgia is a big part of it. It's just a game I had as a kid, so I liked it a lot because of that, because it was fun. And I think the novel setting is a huge part of it. The whole, kind of Polynesian island thing instead of fantasy and sci-fi like every other NES game basically was what that's basically why I like Star Tropics so much. I mean, underrated game that gets talked about so much these days that it can no longer claim to be underrated. There's a few of those that happen, Jeff, like Alan Wake's, Majora's Masks have kind of gone through that whole thing.
I mean, it's most Nintendo games at this point. Like all of them,
except for Wario World. But
except for Wario World. Yep. Now it's its turn, and it will happen. Yeah. It'll get to that same level where now everyone's talking about it again because of you, Mike. Because of you.
That's a good question. That might be a good question for our podcast sometime. What's like a game that used to be underrated but now got talked about? Because Majora's Mask is a big example to me, Jeff, where everyone just talks about how much they like Majora's Mask. Now.
Zelda 2 had the same thing. Yep, all of them.
Beef Hammer says, we are about 2 weeks away from our Lord and Savior Splatoon 3 coming out. Do you think the world is ready for Splatoon 3 to be the Breath of the Wild moment for Splatoon? Sure. Second question. Are we ever going to get blessed with Saints Row on the Switch? I thought Saints Row was on Switch. Are 3 and 4 not on Switch?
No, 3 and 4 are. I think he means the new one.
Oh, the new one?
Blessed is a strong word, yeah. Hey, this is yesterday you wrote this, so it's after the reviews came out. I think you might be being sarcastic. Probably not going to come to the Switch.
Probably not. Hops says, hey, yo, dogs, have you guys picked up new profile icons from the mission rewards page in NSO? Been some very cool Kirby ones, but yet to see anyone else talk about or use it. No, but I did see they had that really good looking like summer Mario wallpaper, but they released it in August. They released it in the dog days of summer. You got it.
Yeah,
it's great. But
I saw them. They tweeted it, and I was gonna like grab it from their tweet like weeks ago because they did it in the early summer. They tweeted it, but it was not like the full day. But they tweeted it with a typo, so I'm like, I'll just wait until they retweet it or whatever and fix that typo, and then I'll reply to it and say how cool it is. And then I just forgot about it. And then I saw them actually post the thing on Nintendo Switch Online, whatever it was, and I got it. And I've been using it. It looks so good. It's really great.
My only problem is like it's too late now, and I haven't switched my phone background in forever. My phone background.
I mean, we're late August. You're right.
Mine has been the mural from before you walk into Spaceship Earth and Epcot for I think like 15 years now. So
I mean, we are like at Labor Day, right? When is Labor Day? In like just a week or two.
Pretty soon.
So yeah, it's like it's wrapping up. And July is when I think, oh, I want to watch Jaws and all these summer movies and stuff like that. So yeah, you're definitely right. It's getting late, but it just looks so cool. And plus, you can see Mario's nipples. Is there tiny little
always a plus?
Oh, the tiny little blue dots right on his chest.
You think there's a Mario manual that talks about the size of his nipples?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, every single one of them does. They know how important that is.
Octo says, hey there, half of the Giant Bomb Jeffs and Mike, why are there higher standards for my answers in Jeopardy even naughty? Quick one, but if we were to get a GTA or Assassin's Creed style open world game in a fictional video game city, which city would you like? Lots of candidates here, from classic RPG towns to New Duck City. That's kind of what I was thinking. Or should they just add cars to Assassin's Creed? Keep on messing. Like, what was the bigger city in the original Pokemon games? Like Viridian, not Viridian.
I don't know.
Pallet Town, there's Vermilion and all that stuff. What are like the original S Pokemon cities, but it's like a GTA game? That would be kind of.
I've answered this one 100 times by saying my describing a game I want.
Mute City.
Yeah, F-Zero Mute City.
That's correct.
Yes, that would be fantastic.
Correct.
That'd be very cool.
That's the right answer.
Yeah, the what they show from the GameCube game and those FMVs, so those cutscenes. I mean.
Lostian says, hello, gents. Hope your weekend was fun and relaxing. Jeff, fucking GTA keeps selling Grubb. And Mike, non-Scottish Jordan Midler Minardi. That's great. Is it possible for the Nintendo Switch to use AMD FSR 2.0?
Probably
When
not.
do you think we start seeing FSR 2.0 on current gen? It seems like
Imminent.
Sony is lagging on that.
It's imminent. I think Sony's going to try to do their own solution rather than try to use the AMD one. But that's not going to stop developers from trying to use it. I think FSR 2.0 is probably just a bit too much for the Switch.
Diego RP says, hello, Jeff. Were you frying chicken in their Grubb? And Mike, I think that's pretty cool. Minardi. A simple question this week. What Nintendo console gimmick has aged the best? I love playing some classic Wii classics, but the necessary pointer controls to boot up the console are a hassle.
Yes.
On the other hand, double screen of the DS/3DS is still as handy as ever and greatly improves a lot of games. I mean, the double screen of the DS is still very good, Jeff. I still like going back to those games.
That's where I'm at, where it's like, oh, this still feels like a bit charming. And the Wii isn't less so.
Yeah.
It's like more charming than it was a couple of years ago. Like it's growing more charming, but not as much as the DS/3DS. I even like the 3D still, the 3DS.
Yeah,
I never disliked that.
I always like the 3D and 3DS, and if I booted up like A Link Between Worlds, I would not want to just emulate that game because to me, like the 3D aspect of it was really cool. It was like a big part of it. I would just want to play it like that.
Yeah, I hope we get to a point where one of those Chinese handhelds come out and they have 3D screens and dual screens and stuff like that. I hope we get there.
Mr. Bowler says, hey, Nintendogs, if Minnie was trying to get your midlife crisis dollars by having a video game character interact with you in the dashboard of your car, what character and gimmick would you get to fork over your cash? Okay, so this is like that Pokemon thing. So apparently Pikachu does talk to you. Wario, like that'd be great. Like Wario should like insult me and like make farting noises and go nah 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 nah.
Yeah,
I would like it. I would be like, yes, Daddy, more please.
Yeah, and then I would be yes, Daddy, more please for Daisy in her in this soccer outfit.
No, wow, Jeff, I can't believe you're such a pervert for Daisy. That's gross. Bench JC says, are we going to be doing Splatoon 3 game nights? I want to splat my ink. We are absolutely going to do Splatoon
for sure. I'm really looking forward to it. That's gonna. I mean. It's a slower year. It's gonna be a lot of time for us all to get together and play games like that.
Gruntilda's ass says, "What's up, Nintendo? We hate Donkey Kong dogs. What did Donkey Kong ever do to you, man? Look. All I said was that Tropical Freeze was kind of overrated. To be clear, a position I feel more strongly about than ever. Where you come at me with things like Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is better than Yoshi's Island. If that's not overrated, then I don't know what is. If you're saying it's better than maybe the best 2D Nintendo platformer ever, then yes, it's overrated. But look, I like the Donkey Kong Country games a lot. I think Donkey Kong Country 2 is definitely a top 10 SNES game, so I've got nothing against the franchise.
Yep.
Gerbear says GoldenEye is 25 years old this week. What are the odds we'll finally see people stop asking for an NSO release after Microsoft answers their prayers? I don't even like GoldenEye. I just want people to move on with their lives. Jeff, do you have a GoldenEye update for us?
No, I mean, there was a chance I thought it would show up here today at the thing. But, I mean, again, that's just like a chance. I never have heard exactly when they're going to release this thing. And the last few messages has been like, yeah, they're just hunkering down because they're afraid of the Russian imagery. So it seems like it's probably going to keep being held off on the side for now.
Fluffy Cloud Gamer says, I've been having a good time with Kirby's Dream Buffet, even though it's far from the best Nintendo party game. Honestly, I knew I would enjoy it from the moment the trailer was revealed because it has the perfect combination of things I love, Kirby racing, and a fantastic food aesthetic. Have you ever seen a game show that had the perfect combination of things that make you fall in love with the game before playing it? Thanks for all you two do. I mean, Kingdom Hearts. I still remember the original Kingdom Hearts trailer. Jeff. I was like, oh shit, let's go. Cool. They made a video game for me.
I mean, there's been some things like that. I'm trying to remember, but it's like
Mario Odyssey 1's trailer was so much like that. Yeah, yes, everything about this is fantastic.
yes, it's like those. It's like and those are some of the best trailers ever. That Odyssey trailer, the Breath of the Wild. I mean, honestly, Breath of the Wild was like, I think they're doing exactly what I've always wanted them to do with Zelda. And then to play the game and realize that they did, that was incredible. But yeah, just seeing those trailers and seeing them like take that stuff and like oh, they're trying to make Zelda 1 and then make a follow up to that, make a spiritual successor to that. That is what I've always wanted. So yeah.
And then from Nintendo Bro, hello, Arcade Pit Kings. Thank you very much.
That's right.
As a fellow Ohioan, I'm curious, which Nintendo character, besides the obvious answer of Rusty from Rusty's Real Deal Baseball, do you think would be most likely to be from Ohio? Which Nintendo character has the most Ohio?
Man, Rusty super does have from Ohio energy, though. He really does.
Rusty's good. Who's the fat guy from F-Zero?
King or Samurai Goro?
Wait, no, the name has talked me out of it.
Yes, right. He's well.
Nobody named Samurai Goro.
Well, it could be like a chosen moniker, in which case that feels like some like guys from Cleveland overcompensating or something. Like Samurai Goro from Cincinnati does make a lot of sense.
Yeah, there was somebody at the game opening night today whose name was Charles Cleveland or something like that. I thought that was pretty good. I know you said aside from Rusty, but all I can think about is Rusty.
Yeah, me too. That's it.
His Ohio energy is off the charts.
He has like a broken down, like run down former Rust Belt town energy. Like he's like, oh, I'm just trying to run a baseball shop in this broken downtown. Please, I got to feed my kids.
Nick Turbo says, hey, Jeff, Sasuke is really cool. Grubb and Mike, Sakura, the beautiful Minati. Can we add a budget to get a Nintendo car into the Game Mess account? Jeff, it's not messed up to me that these two characters' names are so similar in this show.
Yeah, I mean, Sasuke, Sakura.
They don't sound very similar, I guess, but when I read them, they look
right.
Like I bet the same amount of letters. There's so many similar letters.
Right. I bet to native speakers, they're not anywhere close to one another. But I get what you mean.
Doc7 says, hello, Jeff. Bonesaw is ready.
Yeah.
Grubb and Mike, I got you for 3 minutes of me time and naughty. If your co-host were to have a cameo in a Nintendo game, which game/series would it be, and what role would they play? Jeff would just be one of the WarioWare characters, and he's like,
definitely.
I don't know, he's like trying to like get ready for his show on Giant Bomb, and he realizes like he like accidentally left his kid at the park or something.
Mm-hmm.
So like go run. It's like he's running back. Yeah. And like the mini games.
That sounds like an Elite Beat Agents thing, actually. Like I need the Beat Agents, Elite Beat Agents to come help me. Yeah.
Something like that.
You would be on the select screen for 1080p snowboarding, and it'd be rock your body, and you would just be like, oh, the guy from Canada and the guy from the United States, and they'd just be like, from Ohio, Mike Minotti, and I'd be like, yeah, there you go.
Nick Turbo's sad at us that we didn't understand a reference that I did not pick up on in his question.
I mean, he says, can we add a budget to get a Pokemon car into the Game Mess account? I mean, from the show, right? What's the reference?
Yeah, they showed the Pokemon car. I don't understand how, you want, I'm not going to buy you a car if that's what you mean.
There's like...
Or community car.
There's like a couple $100 in a tax account that we need to save for tax time. That's what's in there right now.
It's going towards the Pikachu car now.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. For Nick Turbo. Listen, if we had that kind of money, Nick Turbo, it's the first thing I would do with it. Trust me, is buy you a Pokemon car.
Fat Lucas says, hey, children of the meat, if you're going to the AEW show tomorrow in Cleveland, what weird game-related sign are you bringing? If I did, which I don't think I'm going to because it's annoying to carry a sign around and what. If Jeff did... And we went and made signs before we went, maybe. But mine would be Turok greater than GoldenEye, and that's it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, is this the what weird video game related sign? Yeah, all right. I thought a little bit about this. I mean,
wait a second. Nick Turbo's reference is something about the Naruto German opening. No, I didn't pick up on that reference.
The fuck, Nick Turbo? What? No,
I don't know about the Naruto German. Is this a famous thing?
I have no idea. I've never heard of it. It's never come up. No one's ever mentioned it to me, and I've had a lot of people talking about Naruto to me. So,
look, I don't even know. I don't know the Naruto English opening.
Turbo Sean, how the fuck would they know that? Yeah.
At least he doesn't want us to buy him a car.
Yeah, fair enough. I would do something. I would just try to make people mad with my sign too. Like, yeah, or like you people should appreciate Excite Bike 64 or something like that.
There you go. No, it needs to be more aggressive than that.
Excite Bike 64 is better than any Final Fantasy. There you go.
No, I don't like that anymore.
There it is. That's why it works.
Turbo Sean says, I'm Mikey Blow, and I want you to know that these are the breaks. This is another reference I'm not getting, Jeff. Our young, hip audience is confusing me.
And I had to see if Mike's podcast staccato would make that come out on beat.
Oh, my God.
Man. Ash guy's going to be here tomorrow, and he might be able to,
It's like, I'm Mikey Blow, and I want you to know that these are the breaks. That is how I talk, isn't it?
Yeah, only when you're reading stuff on the podcast.
Fair enough. All right, Jeff, that's all the questions for now. Why don't we take a quick break? We're going to come back to talk about our favorite racing games for made by Nintendo, not just for Nintendo systems. Although people might say the latter anyways, and I won't yell at them. And then we're going to talk about the games we've been playing and talk about Super Chat. So we'll be right back.
Okay, cool. What's
messed up?
Yeah, what's that?
I have no idea what Nick is talking about.
My bladder got so much better about waiting till the end of the show until you started giving me breaks again. And
now, Hey, it's okay. Hey, I need to insert ads. So this show's actually still has an ad. The other show doesn't anymore. So.
Wow. What? Well, we're still gonna take breaks. So I can pee.
We could. No, yeah, we.
I'll write an ad for the other show.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, fair enough. I've been meaning. I want to like reach out and I actually asked Dan Reichert, who is very good at getting like these contacts and stuff. Like, how do you do it? Like, do the people reach out to you? He's like, no, I just reach out to them. I'm like, okay, I'm going to start doing that. So expect boner pill ads real soon, everybody, because I'm reaching out.
Yeah.
We're going to make it happen.
Overlord? What's the name of that one?
Street Overlord. Yes. I want to reach out to the real messed up ones. Yeah, that's what I want on the show. I'm trying to think.
I have no idea what Nick is talking about. Like
with the German Naruto. Like, of course. Can't believe you guys didn't get the reference, Nick.
Like, God, I don't get the reference, and I'm a huge Naruto fan.
I'm like, there was something I wanted to bring up. Like, and I can't remember. I felt like there was something in the room. Another thing I wanted to show off, but whatever. I went to Cheesecake Factory today.
Oh, hell yeah. How was it?
It's good. It's good. I got fish tacos. My kids were mostly well behaved. Addie was like very much wanting to help put the food in the doggy bag or whatever. And so on our way back from doing that, she elbowed a whole thing of ketchup off the table onto the ground, and that was a mess. But, it's kids at a restaurant. And we tipped well, so... And we, they're
slowly learning, like,
yeah, we did.
You can put them to work.
Yes.
How close was it to you?
Go build a phone.
It's like there's like an outside mall like Easton. You've been to Easton. We've talked about Easton before, right? There's one of those here, about three exits away from my house. So like 6 miles.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah. So we're gonna be going, but it's also like a really nice like mall sort of thing. So I'm gonna take the kids through there more often and stuff. Yeah.
That's gonna be so pretty at Christmas time.
Yes, it's gonna be exactly. I can't wait to take them there for that. I'll be right back.
Okay. No, you'll be. Oh man, somebody just said I haven't played my flute thing in a while.
That's
Jeff
true.
Doesn't have to leave as much as he used to.
He did.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. That's copyrighted strike. There you go. Another one. We don't care. Beautiful.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Are you gonna watch that show?
Yeah, I'll probably at least watch some of that. Hope it's good. I say like there's not many shows I like that much. I would play Freebird. You shut the hell up. Because I'm
play Wonder Woman.
Hey,
speaking of
I can learn it.
Speaking of dragons and shit, have you seen the new?
No, I didn't watch the original Game of Thrones.
Oh, you haven't watched the original?
Nah,
I'm missing out.
I've seen bits and pieces. Not my thing. Definitely not
my
thing. Way too violent and weird and nah.
Not all the time.
What, you don't like incest, Mike?
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird.
Okay, the
It's
incest is
weird.
frowned upon. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's not a pro incest show. Okay.
I don't. They make it look pretty fun.
That's Duck Dynasty.
Yeah. Dynasty. What happened to those guys? I shouldn't even ask.
I don't know.
want
That
them to
other
appear.
guy
they
got
were-
canceled.
They were
for saying
recently
the
a part
N-word.
of the presidential cabinet. Is what they
Oh,
were.
cool.
Yeah.
Does the sex doesn't scare me. And to be clear, no, I shouldn't even. I don't
You
know.
sound- you sound like
It's
the guy
weird
from,
how much sex there is.
You sound like the guy from Doctor
It's
Strangelove.
HBO.
Sex doesn't scare me. I simply deny women my essence. Like,
Sex doesn't scare me.
He's on that
I don't
segment,
know.
right?
Look, it's not for me. And look, I always I don't
Sex
like.
or the show?
I never want to be like, this show's stupid, this show looks bad, because obviously it's just not my thing. I'm not going to condemn every TV show. If I don't like every TV show, that's probably a me problem.
to steal a phrase from a wrestler, most television is mid. Like almost like 98% of television is mid as fuck, and it's like
Yeah.
not worth actually getting all of the arms about.
I'm happier just watching old Columbo episodes. I
Same.
understand that's
Yep.
not normal.
All right, let's see.
All right,
Let's-
continue.
Mike, I think we are ready to get back into it when you are.
Woof, woof, woof. We are back, Jeff, and we are ready to talk about our favorite Nintendo racing game. So, Jeff, I do want to know, what is your all-time favorite racing game made by Nintendo? It's actually surprising how many there are, right?
Yes, there's a lot, and like there's a lot like that Nintendo has sort of fostered, like the Cruisin' series, right? Like, like it's like it has its hands in there. I think it probably this is tough because like it's between those three Nintendo 64 games like usual for me. Excitebike 64, 1080, and Waverace 64. Waverace
I'm
64.
surprised Excitebike 64 is quite on that tier with the other ones for you. I know you like
Right,
Excitebike.
right. So they each have something going for it. Like Waverace 64, that water physics is so choice when you make a turn and you feel
I
that
had to
wave.
watch that new MVG video about the water physics. I haven't seen it.
I didn't even know he did one. That's so exciting. But like the way the wave catches your boat and pushes it forward, it feels so good. And like 1080 has that similar thing with frozen water where
Also known as snow.
and like, but it has the different kinds of snow and ice, and the way that the way the game feels different as you are going across these different surfaces, and really accurate. It's like so, and like I don't know, I love it. But Excitebike 64 might have the most complex controls of them all, where it's like super deep in doing these power turns, these power slides, and doing these power slides in the air so you land at a turn, and it's very deep, and that might make it the most complex. I think it might even make it my favorite, like, quote unquote racing game. I really like experiencing Wave Race. I really like the experience of 1080, but I like them as watercraft games and snowboarding games, and like, oh, this feels like the active action of snowboarding. When it comes to like, I want to play one of these for racing, I think Excitebike 64 actually comes out on top.
For what it's worth, I associate Wave Race the most with you. Maybe because of that time you told Dan Record it was the best Nintendo 64 game.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Hey, I don't get wrong.
Yeah, well, we've both been playing that. We'll talk about it more.
Yes, we will.
In it. So, yes, it's harder for me. I think like you go Nintendo 64. I actually think GameCube.
Sure.
And
Lots of great stuff on GameCube.
The trio of like F-Zero GX, Kirby's Air Ride, which I've only discovered recently and really
Yep.
enjoying, and then Double Dash. Now, saying Double Dash is better than Mario Kart 8 is probably mostly nostalgic speaking. Mario Kart 8 is almost certainly the best Mario Kart.
Mhm.
It just brings everything together. Kirby Air Ride is really unique. It's the only one like that, so that's cool. But F-Zero GX definitely stands out the most to me. Just
It's
its whole
fantastic.
aesthetic
Yep.
is great. It looks so good. If I had one complaint, like the end of the races come down to that boost mechanic so much. When you're playing, right, it really does come down to like who's gonna boost like crazy now that we're at the end, and you don't have to worry about crashing anymore. But there even is an excitement to that. The whole flavor of F-Zero TV that they do at the end, where they like interview you and you get to pick your answers. That stuff is so goofy. I love that shit. It's good. F-Zero X also very good, and its soundtrack might actually be a bit better than GX's, because F-Zero X is straight up like guitar shredding, and GX is slightly more electronica even.
Yeah.
But overall, GX I like better.
I mean, it's a great game. And I think the thing about all these older Nintendo racing games, they really all hold up today. You can go back to just about any of them, short of maybe going back to like Super Mario Kart. And there's stuff to be gleaned from each of them.
Yeah, even Super Mario Kart, I think that's something. That's an interesting question. Like, are any like the Nintendo racing games just straight up bad? It's like Nintendo makes bad games sometimes. Like, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. They always
There's
have
something to these.
Yeah.
Let's see what our community says. Maybe they'll even say something that we've forgotten about.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Velocity Prime says, boring answer, I know, but it has to be Mario Kart 8. It's Nintendo's best looking game, has a shredding soundtrack, and synthesizes all of the best elements of the franchise together. No shock that it sold more than 40 million copies. You know what I think is actually Nintendo's best looking game? The best looking Nintendo game that they have ever published, I would say, is Luigi's Mansion 3, actually.
I think that is, I think that's like a fair argument too, because it's like Mario Kart 8, I think, has the most striking art. I think that Luigi's Mansion 3 has the most striking technology with that animation.
You know what? Like, it stood out to me a little bit because we have Daisy and Mario Strikers. That's level, you know, that's next level, and she's so emotive and animated and looks like a, you know, like basically a Pixar character in that. And when I was playing Mario Kart 8 recently, I was like, this does like actually look like a step down from that in terms of like character model.
Absolutely.
Actually, it is kind of.
I mean, next level might legit be the best in the world at that. I mean, you go back to that Punch Out for Wii. And it's the same thing. Just incredible character models, so expressive. Just
you could say that they're next level.
You could say that, and you know what? You did. So here we are.
Say that. You did it. So in case, hey, it has to be Mario Kart 64. It's literally the greatest iteration of the game. Jeff, there are really big Mario Kart 64 fans.
Of course there are. Yeah.
I don't want to say I don't get it because I do get it, but I don't feel that strongly.
I mean, it's the 12-year-old thing. It's like, what game were you playing when you were 12, or maybe in Sosuke's case when he was 3? Yeah, but it was also wasn't your first Mario Kart too. So like, it's like that combination of things. Like. Was it your first one? Were you 12? Oh my God, fucking Christ. Which then you probably know this. Which number of Waverace is Waverace 64?
That's the first one.
That's the second one after the Game Boy one.
Oh, there was a Game Boy one. That's right, man. I do forget about that. Cool.
Stupid second. I think it came out first. Wow. I'm just trying to get you, honestly.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
I had it coming.
Yeah.
One Up versus CPU says, I remember Nintendo's NST made a Ridge Racer game for Nintendo 64. That's interesting. I didn't even know that, and now I'm incredibly curious about that. I gotta check that thing out.
That's it's slow and bad.
Oh no, man!
I mean, it's bad compared to Type 4. Like, it just feels so slow.
Well, every racing game's bad compared to Type 4. That's not the best Nintendo racing game. One Up goes on. That would be Mario Kart 8. I also really like racing on Epona in Zelda Ocarina of Time. Shoutouts to Pokemon Dash. You know, Jeff, I said there was no bad Nintendo racing games. Maybe Pokemon Dash is actually a bad Nintendo racing game. That game sucks. That's not very good.
Yeah.
I do not like Pokemon Dash. Dugan says, first one is Diddy Kong Racing. First one is Diddy Kong Racing. That is a very good game. The Elephants, hello, in the beginning was heartwarming and pumped me up, even though it may be problematic now. The game seems to be referenced all the time.
That's right.
Great single player and multi-vehicle racer. I did appreciate how robust it was as a single player experience. Yeah.
It had an open world like hub thing, like where you were racing to the doors to open them up, like Mario 64's castle or whatever. And it's like it had a pretty decent roster, although a lot of those characters I would probably be like, I'd probably have trouble picking them out of a lineup now.
Sure.
But a handful of them were like different, like, oh yeah, I like these characters. And
I do wish they kind of just actually added more of the Kongs in
exactly.
You only had Diddy. Like, just put Dixie Kong or Trixie Kong.
But they totally did the like Smash Brothers thing where it's like, you know, Smash Brothers, it was Roy or Marth, whoever was against.
Roy was in there before he was in his game, so yeah.
And they tried to do that with Conquer and stuff. Yeah.
It's also like a small thing, but like it stands out now how those are actual like 3D models for all the racers. Where in 64, they're kind of doing the Donkey Kong pre-rendered characters thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Dean in chat wants to know, did he just hop in to the Pokemon Dash slander? And yes, you did.
Yes,
Welcome to the chat.
I would love to hear the Pokemon Dash
Defenders. Yeah.
And there's like, please bring it. That's the game in the DS where you just like ruined your screen by rubbing it with the stylus, right? Like, it's not good. Next one is Benji Glasskey says, I don't enjoy Nintendo racing games after the Mario Kart killer Mod Nation Racers. Now, there's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Yeah, fuck. I think the last time we talked about that was a Jeopardy game where we couldn't remember the name.
Yeah, that's fucked up. Mod Nation, like, because there was something to that. They tried very hard and it just didn't. I don't know.
Yep.
Just didn't care.
No.
Oh god, Turbo Sean says Star Fox Grand Prix. Oh shit, right. Well, it's got to be Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. The handling of the vehicles,
Yeah.
the gorgeous visuals, that music, it's magical. And before Mike interjects with, yeah, but the items are some bullshit, note that it's our bullshit. It's the ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 of racing games. You're going to get fucked up and you're going to like it. God damn it. Look, I cannot disagree. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe doesn't answer here. I just punched my microphone. It's obviously a very good game.
I mean, it's awesome. It's fantastic.
Bob says honorable mention to Mickey's Racing Adventure for the Game Boy Color. The first game I can even ever remember playing. Oh, that's cute. But it controls like dog shit, so it won't be my pick. My real pick is Mario Kart DS.
Good game.
Specifically because of its feature that let you play the game as Shy Guy if you didn't own a copy with local online play. Because of that, we would run full lobbies on the school bus, and it was always an absolute blast. Probably the most time I spent with a Mario Kart game. Mario Kart DS ruled, Jeff. It was probably the best Mario Kart game for a good while there.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely the one where, like, oh man, they would continue to improve this game. It's like, Mario Kart 64 and Double Dash aren't gonna be like the peak of this series. They are gonna figure this out. I remember I played that game in local co-op multiplayer on the bus to PAX, where everyone the train broke down, so everyone got on the bus, and we were all in close proximity and had our DSs. So there were like full lobbies of us playing Mario Kart the entire way to Boston. It was a good time.
I remember McDonald's had like Wi-Fi hotspots for DSs.
Yeah,
this was really early for that. So like we used to go there. We would play Mario Kart DS online. I remember you can make a little emblem for your thing. So I think I just always made a Mega Man face because it was 8-bit and easy to do. It made me giggle. By the way, remember they made a Mega Man kart racer that they advertised in the magazines. It came out for PlayStation 1. It's called Mega Man and Chase. And I was so mad because it was like advertised on the back of an issue of VGM, and it actually got canceled for the U.S. release.
Oh, wow.
It eventually showed up in some compilations. Like, it's not even any good. But at the time, I was furious. Mr. Bohr says, F-Zero GX remaster at Nintendo. There aren't too many more Nintendo games, I think. I guess that's not true. That need to be remastered. But in terms of, it would be so easy to just remaster it and pass it off as mostly a modern game. F-Zero GX sure could get away with
widescreen. You just like maybe
it's already widescreen, Jeff. That's one of the
right.
games that has widescreen support. It's incredible.
Man,
it's
what incredible. A good game! What a good game! Yeah,
great game.
Basically, you upscale it and maybe improve some of the textures. Maybe like improve the contrast so like it looks really super crisp. That like the tracks stand out on like dark backgrounds for the OLED screen. And yeah, that's good stuff.
Superhuman says, I played so much of the original F-Zero when I got my SNES that it has to be my answer. One good memory was spending a lot of time in Port Town on time trial mode, trying to use the jump to get to the other side of the track. When I finally pulled it off, I was surprised that a tractor beam thing came down to pull me back for cheating. Yeah, that original F-Zero is also just a good time.
Yep, still a good game.
Original F-Zero, I think, is more fun to me now than the original Mario Kart.
Right? Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Absolutely.
Dr. Turbo says, my favorite is still the one I played the most, speaking of the devil, the original Super Mario Kart on SNES. Of course, the series has evolved, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is better in every way, but my love for the OG is still unaltered. Spent many nights at my neighbor's house playing the original. The original, Jeff, I mostly had fun with the battle mode back then, even with 64, actually.
I think so. Same here.
Battle mode.
Right, and I would never play battle mode these days. So we don't. No. We just race.
I don't know why battle mode does not have that magic anymore.
I mean, there's just so many better like combative games now these days. So yeah, it was good for what we had back then.
The Uncharted Wolf 5 says, Grubb, Mike, I'll be 100 honest with y'all. I don't like any Nintendo racing games. To be fair, I've never played F-Zero. Well, there you go. But I never really connected with 1080 snowboarding or Waverace.
Get him out of here!
With Mario Kart, I didn't like how random the game is, as it felt like actual skill was secondary. That's why Crash Team Racing always worked better for me. Wow. Does Crash Team Racing just also have weapons? Is it?
Yeah, I bet
they have blue shells probably.
Right, so. Probably not. Yeah.
Screaming Turbo Man says, seconding F-Zero GX. It has a sense of speed that is unmatched even to this day. There's one game I think, Jeff, that might do speed even better than F-Zero GX. I'm just going to interject here, and it might be Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. Which
Yes, very fast, very good.
I love that. Get the port they made on Switch. Aspire, who's on hard times right now, probably get the port that they
You
made.
put hard times on Aspire.
Yeah, very good, Jeff.
Yeah.
That's a wrestling reference.
So thank you. I can reference wrestling too.
Yeah.
Referencing.
He says it has a sense of speed that is unmatched even to this day, has an amazing art style, and the music is so freaking good. I even listened to it this day. Though I remember as a kid, I could never get past the third level story mode. But when I played it again in college, I finally did. It popped off so loud, though my roommate was very confused as to why. Jeff, it is a great feeling now going back to games that I had to stop playing.
Oh yeah.
Before, even for our game club, we did Ninja Gaiden Sigma, and I played the original Ninja Gaiden on Xbox, and I enjoyed it, but I couldn't get very far. And now I can just beat it, and it feels good. I started Beautiful Joe today, which was a game I liked a lot, but gave up at the boss rush at the end. And now I'm like, I bet I can beat this now. It'll be fine. Breadfish says Mario Kart Double Dash. Not sure exactly why Double Dash has so much staying power, but somehow its exclusive character items, ultra tight controls, and mix and match potential makes its 16 tracks feel like they can hold their own against Mario Kart 8's 48 plus. I mean, that's one of the nice things about Double Dash, Jeff, because it has that whole two people on a cart mechanic, and it's the only one that does. It still feels kind of special to this day.
Yes, it definitely has its own characteristics. I mean, we tried to play it, and it's very different from Mario Kart 8 in terms of the way it feels and controls and stuff. So,
and the snaking.
Yeah, the snaking. Yeah, it's its own thing.
Evan says StarCraft 64 has 3 races. That's funny. Jeff, can you name the 3 races from StarCraft?
Okay, Terran.
Nice, yeah, Terran.
Are they the Protoss?
Yeah, that's the Protoss.
And then
come on, the last one's easy.
The last one's easy. Zerg,
Yeah,
yes,
Zerg
of course,
Rush.
yes,
Yeah,
Zerg, yes. I was gonna say Proton. I'm like, that's not
Protoss
right.
and Proton.
That's not right.
Sasuke and Sakura. Billy Hatchard's Renegade Giblet says the Mario Kart series has the well of quality games. Diddy Kong Racing has the greater soundtrack, but Lego Racers for the Nintendo 64 has that unique power-up system that stacks. It's also the only Nintendo racing game that lets you play as King Kahuka, therefore it wins. Luckily for Billy Hatcher, that the beast who I talk about all the time, who's playing through every Nintendo 64 game, has played through this one, so I actually know what he's talking about now, Jeff. It did actually look surprisingly fun. Ben JC says,
I don't remember at all.
You don't remember?
No, I remember Micro Machines being the one where you could have 8 players and there would be 2 players per N64 controller. And I'm like, I always wanted to try that, but I don't remember Lego Racers at all.
Bench JC says Mario Kart DS. I have some great memories in 2017 when I was in 7th grade. I remember me and my friends always brought our DSs to school and just played Mario Kart during lunch, and it was always a blast. Plus, it's just the best Mario Kart. Yeah, Mario Kart DS is a very good time. I think even with a lot of people thinking 8 definitely is the best, I can't imagine not having DS in your top 3.
Yeah, I agree.
Wildfire Alex says it's F-Zero X, and it's that game for the soundtrack alone. What a rocking, badass soundtrack that is only rivaled by Guilty Gear's music. The game is also very well done, and I have fond memories of playing it over and over with my friends in the 1990s. Now, everyone sings the praises of the older entries, and even F-Zero GX, but I personally feel like F-Zero X is a sweet spot. It's my all-time favorite Nintendo racer.
It's good, too. It's great, yeah.
Very good. It runs so smoothly for a Nintendo 64 game, Jeff.
Right.
The only thing that hurts it is it's like that Nintendo 64 fog. There's not a lot of detail to the levels.
Yes.
The track design is good, but in F-Zero GX, you're literally in a city and you see the billboards and the skyscrapers. Here, you're kind of floating through clouds a lot of the time. That's the only downside. And I do actually think F-Zero X's soundtrack is better than GX's. I agree with them. Beef Amber says, I hate to say this because it means Jeff will be right for once, but I've been playing at Ray Race 64 this week, and it's pretty awesome. Once you get a handle on the jet ski, it is so fun to handle and hit the waves just right.
Yeah.
Now, if only had a 200cc mode.
Yeah.
We'll talk about this, Jeff, but I've been playing it too and was having a lot of fun. And it's a game that is better when you kind of go online and read some of the tips. Like hold down the B button right when you're about to go off a ramp or a wave, and you won't be in the air as long. And all these little things.
Right.
It's that feels really good. I love there's a simplicity to it. There aren't a ton of control buttons, but there's a lot of room for these little optimizations.
Right. Interpreting the physics and stuff on your own. Absolutely.
Hosp says there's only one obvious answer, so I'm going to throw out Bowser's Fury and racing around on Plessis for Whisper It. cat shy. I shouldn't have said whisper it out loud. That was just an instruction for me.
Mm-hmm.
We don't
Stage
say that
direction.
word around here.
Yeah, we whisper it.
Well, yeah, Lossian says Mario Kart 7 on the 3DS. It's portable and it has download play. That is a great feature when there are multiple kids. And yes, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is a better game, but you can't expect multiple kids to play on the tiny split screen. Yeah, Mario Kart 7 was fantastic, Jeff. The only problem is Mario Kart 8 was pretty much just an evolution of that anyways, so there's not a whole lot of reason to go back to it for me unless I really wanted to see it in 3D.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Mario Kart 7, it did so much right, and I'm glad they kept most of it with Mario Kart 8.
Yep. Wendy says, for the surprise I felt when bugs hit my windshield the first time cruising USA. Oh, yeah. Man, I remember playing the Cruising USA arcade machine we had at Ground Round. Was that a franchise, Ground Round? That was a restaurant.
Nope. Does not sound familiar.
It's one of those mid-tier steakhouses, kind of like a Ponderosa steakhouse.
Yeah.
Not as fancy as the Longhorn or the Outbacks, but you could get a 8% sirloin for $15. Diego RP says the most grounded yet boring answer should be Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So throwing another name into the mix, Beetle Adventure Racing.
Oh, good call.
64 was a jam and ahead of its time.
Yes.
Vibrant tracks full of shortcuts, tight gameplay with item boxes to use, and a fantastic soundtrack. I know it's unlikely, but I wish it come to NSO. If this is a game that gets brought up a lot for
it's
underrated
great.
games. Yeah.
It's the shortcuts. It is. You will go through the first lap and you'll see them all, but you're going way too fast to hit them. So then you go through the second lap, you're like, okay, this time I'm going to try to get them, and you'll miss them. And then on that third time, you're like, okay, I'm ready for it. I know the trick. I know how to get in there, and you'll hit them, and it'll feel so good. It's got the best shortcuts in any racing game ever.
It sounds kind of San Francisco esque.
Yeah, it's definitely in that vein of just extreme racing and jumps, and it's like nothing is realistic. Yeah, for sure.
Pablo Ka says, I'm a fraud. I haven't played any Nintendo racing game for more than 15 minutes, but I played the Rattata racing mini game from the original Pokemon Stadium a lot back in my childhood. So there's my answer. Hey, that's still better than Pokemon Dash. So
absolutely.
I'll allow it. Gerber says, maybe favorite is the wrong word, but because it inspired the most swearing whenever we attempt in multiplayer, where I'd argue it becomes a racing game, I feel obligated to mention Kururin.
Game of the year, 2022.
Pam's game of the year.
Absolutely.
That was so good. I almost wish I got to try it. You did a good job, Jeff, with Kururin.
Thank you. Yeah, it's definitely my kind of game. As soon as we saw it, we're like, yeah, that's a Jeff game.
The completionist was catching on in the end there. I was like,
yes,
man,
he was.
If does game over, he might pass you up. It's no tickle my fancy bit that we played with the completionist.
He's great
from YouTube.
Yeah, he's good. I watched most of his Quest 64 video the other day while cleaning up. I'm like, oh, he's good at.
He did a Quest.
He's good at YouTube. He's really good at it.
Yeah, he's got it figured out.
Yep.
Fluffy Cloud Gamer says Mario Kart Wii was my favorite for a while because of the solid roster of racers and great catalog of original courses. It was broken as fuck, but that made it fun for people pulling off ridiculous shortcuts. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe definitely surpasses it, though.
Sure, yeah.
Nintendo Bro says, I'm sure nostalgia plays into it a little bit, but I think the Nintendo 64 is the golden age of Nintendo racing games.
Yeah.
Waverace 64, Excitebike 64, 1080p snowboarding with a wiki face. Mario Kart 64 and Diddy Kong Racing, Star Wars Racer, and my personal favorite, F-Zero X.
That whole era was so good across PlayStation and Nintendo 64, but especially Nintendo 64.
I mean, he didn't even bring up the Cruisin' San Francisco games or the Beetle. Yeah, it had a lot of very good racing games. Like, Nintendo 64 sometimes struggled with some genres, but racing it was pretty good at.
Right. I mean, surprising because the one thing with the N64 is it was a bit slower than the PlayStation, so it was easier to get speed out of a PlayStation, which is why Wipeout was so good and Ridge Racer was so good. But these developers all figured all those problems out and put out some great racing games.
So F-Zero X with its unmatched sense of speed, its same track layouts, excellent soundtrack, and the awesome battle royale before it was cool, Death Race. There was no better time to be a fan of racing games than the Nintendo 64. Doc7 says, the community around Mario Kart Wii makes it my favorite racing game of all time. The mod pack I'm currently playing, Mario Kart Wii Deluxe, has 544 custom tracks. Supports online play and Dolphin. Shout out to the custom track devs keeping Mario Kart Wii thriving 14 years after release. I mean, the Wii's pretty easy to get homebrew on, Jeff, so that's pretty cool.
I'm going to try this. I don't think I've ever played Mario Kart Wii.
Really?
I don't think I ever touched it.
It It was really good. You kind of had to get past them, like really wanting you to play with that stupid wheel.
Right, and I knew I didn't have to do that, but just at that point I was like, I don't want any motion control bullshit Mario Kart. That's not what I'm here for.
But it was actually just a very good Mario Kart game with all that stuff aside. It worked very well.
I'm gonna try this. This is crazy.
Fat Lucas says F-Zero GX for me and my older brother. It'll be 19 years this Thursday since GX came out. And I said, holy shit, really? GX is gonna be 19 years old. That's incredible. I don't know. It makes me sad. I'm almost like, that's cool. You know?
Yeah.
That game still holds up all these years later. That's neat.
Right, and the fact that like we're like that far away from like that era of gaming, and here's where we're here now. I don't know. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool that games are getting old in some ways.
Yeah, and that they can still hold up and be fun.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Shrek says, while F-Zero and Mario Kart are better racing games, my favorite would have to be Kirby's Air Ride on GameCube. There we go. Blowing up friends in City Trial Mode never got old. Hunting for your favorite star ride in the world and upgrading it the way you want for the race at the end was always satisfying. Jeff, that's it. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, not unsurprisingly, is the most popular answer here. Not a lot of love for the Excite bike series. No Excite trucks and no Excite bots mentioned here, I noticed.
And those are really good games. I think they're more surprising than they are like great. Like, oh, these are surprisingly good. Is what I think most people end up deciding about them. But you know, Excite Bike 64 is fantastic. I think if Excite Bike 64 comes to Nintendo 64 Online, it'll get a similar sort of rejuvenation that Waverace is getting right now. Yeah.
Rob's getting a lot of flowers right now, and it's nice to see.
Yes, it's very nice to see. Absolutely.
Well, Jeff, that does it for the question. Next week's question is going to be, what is your favorite sports game, not made by Nintendo only, but released on a Nintendo platform? Not racing, obviously, but wrestling counts, if you know.
Yeah.
You want to talk about something like that.
There's a bunch of good ones.
I wanted to ask, like, what's your favorite racing game or wrestling games? Like, well, it's just going to be No Mercy or WCW and then Revenge for everybody. So we'll say sports game. What the heck?
Cool.
That'll be fun. All right, Jeff. Why don't we go through some of these super chats now before we talk about what we've been playing this week?
Absolutely. Yeah, we got a few super chats this week. One from Uriel Delgado. Actually, two from Uriel Delgado. Let's read this first one. No Bioshock, despite 15th anniversary being right there. And then he does the sad face emoji, referencing Ono, which did not have a Bioshock thing. Ono was our short way of saying opening night live, by the way.
Oh, I see. Very cool. I mean, you know, I guess a bit of a bummer. We know they're working on something. It's just probably not ready yet.
Yeah, right, exactly. And that's just kind of where a lot of stuff is, it feels like. Uriel Delgado also said, any game you know of that wasn't announced today? I don't know. Like, a lot of stuff has like been confirmed for a long time. I don't know. There's nothing like in that vein that I know of right now.
There's some things that I know, like Jeff has told me and stuff that haven't been announced, but I'm not gonna say them here. I'm afraid. I
don't even remember what you're talking about at this point. So yeah,
there's one. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Remind me later. Yeah. Mr. Game Freak 1994, which is a good name. Do you know Wario 64's secret identity, and do you think you could get them on the podcast? I think that it's Mike Minotti. So yes, I think I could. I was like, oh, that's probably a bunch of people, and someone's like, no, I've met him. And then I was like, oh, would he be good on a podcast? He's like, he doesn't like doing podcasts. Like, they just like Wario 64 just likes the Twitter interactions. That works better for them. So
he's got his thing figured out. His brand's working for him. Exactly.
He doesn't need any of that. I think it'd be cool to like talk to him, but I mean, if they doesn't want to, you know. Huey F. Newton. Diddy Kong Racing is the best one for me because of single player story mode. Also, I still wish we got the cute PG Conquer platformer. And he does a mad face.
I kind of do too.
Yeah, I would like to see that. Was there like a Conquer game on Game Boy Color?
They made the normal Conquer original Vision game on one of the portable systems. I think Game Boy Color, right?
Right.
And it's just like normal 3D platformer. Then Conquer whatever it was supposed to be turned into Bad Fur Day.
Dean8149 says DS download play was so great. As long as someone had the game, we always had a full lobby in Mario Kart DS at school. Will always be my favorite Mario Kart. That had to be so great.
It really was cool. And it's like, oh, you have to play Shy Guys. I like Shy Guys.
Yes,
so I had
exactly.
No problem.
That's cool. I was not a kid when that stuff was happening. I was kind of getting. I must get beat up. Yeah, no, I was out of high school by then. I think by the time the DS came out. Yeah, so. Just no chance to do that with like other kids. Okay, that does it for Super Chats, Mike. We have a couple of games to talk about, right?
We do, Jeff. I mean, Waverace 64 has in fact come out. and I know that you love it a lot. Have you been able to play it a good amount?
I've been playing it quite a bit. I am really taking advantage of the save state feature to get through expert. I want to get first on every level in expert, and and the way it works, I guess you should go out and play it right now. It is great, but there's only a handful of courses, but to see all of them, I think you got to go through the entire expert run, and you could do it where you lose and or you get third place or second place and just try to keep going. But I like getting first place each time. But to see some of those other tracks, you gotta just keep going through all these other ones through these normal, hard, and expert. And it really does get very, very difficult. The other racers become very aggressive and faster and all this stuff, and they get better at staying ahead of you. Whereas on normal, you can kind of just blast right past them. But yeah, I'm having fun just kind of going through each of these things, trying to do the shortcuts. There's parts where I'm still I remember getting so good at this game and being able to do the shortcut on that one with the big tankers and that really narrow path off to the right, where it's that narrow shortcut, and some of it's like that, and I'll hit it and I'm like, man, going through this, I just cannot get the timing on these turns down. I keep sliding into the walls, but I'm like, I probably just need to be braking better and stuff like that. But I remember being able to do this perfectly every time when I was a kid. So I'm like, and that was part of the fun, is mastering these games. These are games that you can master and over a period of time, where it's there is a lot of hard skill involved in getting good at this. It's what I've always loved about it. So it still feels as great as ever, though. It still feels fantastic. I struggle to think of any game that has water physics as good as this to this day, and not in terms of the way it looks. Obviously, there's been better looking water, but the way it feels to be on a water surface,
it pushes you and it kind of bobs you.
Where it feels like you control the vehicle, but you also are almost on this super monkey ball surface that you're not in control of, and you need to keep in mind that there are other physics things at play. And when a wave crashes into you and starts pushing you in the other direction, you maybe should just coast and see what happens just for a fraction of a second, and then pick it back up and try to curve into that with that energy. It's it's so good. It's so good.
I've been enjoying it, Jeff. I played through normal and hard mode, and I've been kind of getting better. I haven't tackled expert yet. When you play, do you just pick the normal characters, or do you kind of mess around with the stat distribution thing?
I've been picking the normal characters, but I think I'm gonna do what you said and go look for some more tips online and see what people say. Was there any pointers about what you should do there?
Said that he had a specific loadout, and I can't remember what it was exactly, but I tried the one time. And
each of the normal characters do control very different from one another. You can get some I think that Ryu character, whatever, his turns are very, very sharp, and I found him difficult to control when I went back to him when I was playing on the Steam Deck a few weeks ago. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna stick with the default character here, or with Dean Mariner, who I really enjoy as well.
And I know some of these games have come to NSO, these Nintendo 64 games, they don't feel great. This feels like a pretty good port, right? Or pretty good.
Yeah, right. And this is an early Nintendo 64 game, so it's and it's one that's been emulated a billion times and stuff, so it's a little surprised that they nailed this one, but I haven't seen any issues with it. It probably wasn't doing a ton of special graphical tricks or anything like that, so it seems like that side of things was pretty easy to take care of.
Jeff, I think we've both also been playing Kirby's Dream Buffet. I know you played it on Unprofessional Fridays, right?
Yeah, I had a good time with that game. It's surprisingly intense when you get to that final round, and you need to be knocking each other off.
It's almost a little too intense. Sometimes it seems like it all comes down to that.
Yes, it does. It doesn't. It does all come down to that. It's very Golden Snitch, where the winner of this part is just going to win, and it kind of makes everything else meaningless. That doesn't mean you can't just we just decided that we still cared about all those other things, and there's a little bit of buy-in. And at $15, you kind of realize this thing is not going to try to support itself for weeks of play. And so we're not even going to pretend that it's going to do that. We're playing it today. It's going to be a fun party thing today. And if we ever go back to it, great. If we never go back to it, I don't know, $15 for an afternoon of fun isn't the craziest thing I've ever done in my life. So I'm kind of okay with what it is, even though it absolutely could be better in terms of how it is, how it presents itself, how the multiplayer works, where the game's just going to start in 2 minutes, whether everyone on your team is there or not. There's not a ton of variety, and there's too much emphasis placed on that last round. So maybe they could have thought about the balancing a little bit more, but at the same time, I'm kind of okay with it. It's good. It's like a fun, distracting Kirby game. Like we get a lot of those, and this is another one. This is great.
I guess it's definitely not the next, air ride or anything like that. But
No.
it is fun. All the food stuff looks good.
Yes.
They have some wet bacon, and that is always very, very appetizing.
Yeah, it was. I was playing it while getting pretty hungry, so yeah, it was definitely working on me. The burger levels looked great, and obviously all the sweets, like all the desserts, looked great too. It's good stuff.
The progression is nice. Like there's a lot of like cosmetic things to unlock.
It's it was a little bit strange to be playing along with other people who were like me and Dan started at the same time, so we were unlocking things at the exact same time, and that was like okay, maybe they could have mixed things up or let me pick a little bit, but whatever. It's not like. That doesn't really matter all that much.
I was having some rough online experiences with lag and stuff like that, playing just randomly matchmaking.
Right.
It was pretty bad, even for Nintendo Switch online games. It was kind of rough.
Ours were pretty good. I think there was a few matches where it was a little bit maybe shaky, but for the most part, when it mattered, I don't remember any major issues really. Like when it mattered, like there was a couple times during the race where I thought. Maybe I was moving around a little higgly-piggly, but for the most part, higgly-piggly. For the most part, it was pretty solid. But I'm not surprised that you ran into issues. Of course you did. It's Nintendo Switch Online stuff.
Mm-hmm. Jeff, I've been playing some GameCube games. Of course, the big one was I played through all of Wario World this week, which I'm excited.
I'm glad you did.
I always wanted to play that game, Jeff, because it's so weird to me. I've said this before. It's so weird to me that they made a 3D Wario platformer for the GameCube. It was made by Treasure, one of the best retro game developers of all time, Gunstar Heroes and Mischief Makers, all that stuff. And they made this game, and no one talks about it.
Yep,
at all.
Completely forgotten.
No one even says, "Oh, it was bad." They don't say that. They just don't talk about it. I was like, it must just be mediocre, and it wasn't. I thought it was so much fun. I guess I think what it got dinged for reviews at the time is that it's short. And it is, but who cares now?
I know, right? Exactly. Who cares? That is okay, I get people wanting to consider game length when they are talking about buying a game. Obviously, it matters to a lot of people. But in hindsight, when you're looking for good games that you missed, it's one of the least important things. It's I just want to know if it's going to be a good distraction. I'm almost certainly going to come across this thing one way, whether it's downloading an ISO or if it's borrowing the game or whatever. I just want to know if it's going to be something cool that I've never seen before. That's or there's not a lot of content like what's happening with the Mario soccer games or whatever, Mario Strikers. I wish we could find a way to talk about these games without dismissing them for being short, even to this day. But it was way worse even then. Being a short thing where you could play for a couple hours and it's just done was a kiss of death back then a lot of times.
It was. This isn't even like that. It's maybe 5 hours a beat, and it would be a fun game to 100%. You go through and find all the treasures, and the pause menu makes it very clear what treasures you still need to get and all that stuff. But it's just this really good adaptation of those 2D Mario mechanics, the shoulder dash and the picking people up and all that thing. With some new things, like you could spin people around. The best is the pile driver move, and you pick them up and you push the ground pound button. You do this insane pile driver, and you even do it to these giant bosses, and it just looks so wacky. There's a ton of boss fights in the game, and they're all really good boss fights. I was really impressed with the boss fights. There was one I was fighting this pirate guy, and there's kind of these two ships, and he would shoot a cannonball at the ship I was on, so I'd have to do this dash jump to get over to the other pirate ship and then grab him and power bomb him. There's just a lot of fun stuff. It was even ahead of its time in terms of when you die, you don't have lives. You just have to pay coins. It's literally what Mario Odyssey does now, right? It's either that or if you fall into a pit, instead of losing life or something, you just go into this area where you need to break all these barrels to find the spring to get you back. And in the meantime, ghosts start chasing you. And if you touch the water, you start losing coins. And if the ghosts touch you, you lose coins. I'm like, wow, this stuff's really smart. This is ahead of its time. So, yeah, I thought I was going to come out of this and be maybe I'll be slightly pleasantly surprised. I am much more than that. I really liked this game. I am shocked it doesn't have a better reputation.
It's just Treasure the platinum of its time, always kind of doing surprisingly good games, maybe a handful of stuff that wasn't great.
Maybe the platinum of its time, platinum 10 years ago or 5 years
ago. Probably, yeah.
Because they almost couldn't miss for a bit there. They did so many hits.
Yeah,
I don't even know what the equivalent of Treasure would be today. Maybe .emu almost.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
it's more of a publishing arm.
Right, but still the same vein. I know what you mean.
Right, you know what I mean.
Treasure, so many great games. I always was kind of hoping that this game was secretly a lot of fun. So I'm gonna play it. I'm glad that you
like it.
Yeah, I'm glad that you like are finally turning up the heat on this one so that I can like.
Yes, I'm gonna become its champion, Jeff. I'm gonna make
It
sure
needs
that
it.
this game gets its day in the sun.
Here it is. It says no, that is accurate. You Nier Automata
Nier
haters.
Automata, yeah, whatever. I think
I don't hate it. I just found it boring. To play.
I like Nier Automata a lot.
I just think it's
Automata, I
boring.
can't remember what it is. The pause music is great, by the way, because it's just Mario going yeah, 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 yeah. And if you keep it playing for an hour, Jeff, he will say sorry and stop.
Wow! Oh man, I need this sound effect.
Game of the century.
Yes, that is incredible. Oh my god. I've been playing Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I think you have. I think you have as well. Yeah.
Just a little bit, because there's another game I have been playing on my Switch I can't talk about yet. So I haven't been too far.
It is. It's really good. It's still really good. I'm like, I guess we're going to just consider this a check-in because I've been talking about it the last couple of weeks because I've been playing it the last couple of weeks. I play it every Monday for my Grubby stream on Giant Bomb. This time it was, here's the introduction to the job system, and your characters can, switch clothes basically and do a fashion show, and that's how you switch your job.
Oh, like Final Fantasy X too.
Yeah, Final Fantasy X too, sure. So,
yeah, you know about that one.
Exactly. That's
dress fears, Jeff.
I never shut up about dress fears. You know me.
You really don't, and I've been meaning to talk to you about it. It's been getting a little obnoxious. You kind of have to hold back a little.
I'll go to therapy around it, definitely. But I mean, it also was like one of those episodes where I'm like, I've played through this, but I haven't done much playing through this. We're going to be getting a lot more tutorials. We're getting a lot more anime. The characters are still very good. They spend a lot of times together again, the two groups of characters that like are mirror images of one another.
Is Uni your waifu?
Is Uni? No, my waifu might be the one with the blue fire hair, the one with the muscles and the hammer.
I haven't met her yet. Oh, of course.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, they're hidden muscles. Trust me, she still looks like a young anime girl. but they're like, no, she's super strong. We're not going to actually give her muscles.
She's not Estelle from Streets of Rage 4.
Right. Listen, we're not horrible. We're not going to make her look like a man. What are we? Wow. Yeah, that's what it totally feels like. But yeah, she's very strong. Senna is what Chad is saying. Yeah. Right. You can't see her. It's a whole thing. Yeah. But whatever. It is an interesting story. It is. I still like the combat a lot, even though a lot of it is just waiting for the thing to attack while your meters fill back up. I can now switch between all my characters on a whim, and I can try out all the different classes. And then if I want, I could switch a couple of characters to another class for now. I think it seems like eventually you can switch any character to any class and do the job system.
I do remember. I think they said that in the one direct about it, right?
Right. Yeah,
that does differentiate it from the other Xenoblades.
Yeah, and I'm like, now I got like class points, and I'm like still wondering, like, okay, is this something I should engage with, or is this something I can just kind of let run on autopilot in the background, or will I have more fun if I engage with it? I don't know yet. I'm letting chat help like co-pilot this with me, like, and give me a lot of pointers and sort of decide that stuff as I go. But as always, there's always conflicting stuff where I'm like, hey, should I be, upgrading my characters with my bonus XP every time I get to a fire? And some people are like, no, save it until you need it. And everyone's like, I've been doing it every time, and I've had zero issues with this game. I've been over leveling. I've been good. It's fine. So we'll see. I am going to keep playing this on Mondays until something derails that, and then we'll see if I ever go back.
Like Wario World.
Yeah, Wario World would be fun to play for sure. But we're getting to the fall. Games are coming out. Like Saints Row became like the biggest thing. Maybe I would have played Saints Row. That doesn't seem like much of a concern anymore, though, Mike.
Not so much, huh?
Yeah, that's a bummer. But yeah, that's me. There's been a handful of other stuff I've been messing around. Oh, Super Punch-Out 2-player mode. I messed around with that a little bit.
Oh, you tried that?
I tested it out with Dan because we're going to do a stream on Friday where we're going to be the Gabby J's, and it's me, Jan, and Jason, maybe Jess. All these people with J's in their name are going to play as Gabby J, and we're going to beat up Dan Reichert, where he's going to play as the Mac. And yeah, I don't know how long it's going to last, but we'll see.
Remember you're talking about Glass Joe and Super Punch-Out, and I was like, I didn't think Glass Joe was in that one, and you were like, he is.
I've always conflated Gabby J and Glass Joe in my head. Like, even though I totally, like, once I see Gabby J, I'm like, yay! I'm like, yeah, no, I love Gabby J. But I'm like, no, that's just Glass Joe. And then it's like, oh, yeah, no, Gabby J. So, yeah. But yeah, that's it for me. It's weird that Super Punch-Out 2-player mode. It's
there.
But it's like you can do a bald bull charge on command, and that's weird and wild. But like you can also just like spam uppercuts and dodge so fast as the enemies that it feels like Mac has almost no chance of hitting it. So I'm wondering if like Dan's gonna have any chance of actually surviving when we play against him. But whatever, that's not the point. It's just
when are they gonna find
weird.
the original F-Zero 2-player mode, right?
Exactly, yeah. Where it's a
Buried in there
head-to-head race. It's a chicken where you just like run into each other head-to-head. Absolutely. All right, Mike, that does it for me though.
Yeah, that does it for me too, Jeff. I think that's enough of that.
Yep. I'm gonna hit
right,
the button
let's
right
wrap up
now.
here.
Yep, there we go.
Yeah, thank you all for listening to Last of the Nintendogs. Jeff and I will be back on Thursday with Game Mess Decides. Jeff, I don't even say Game Decides anymore. I'm used to it now.
Yeah, me too. I think I'm used to it. I'm sure it'll happen again eventually, but you know, when I'm tired. Yeah.
I'm on Twitch and Twitter as Potato. Check out 90s Disney, my 90s Disney podcast. Jeff, I'm going to be on Game Mess Morning Show. I know who's on Game Mess Morning Show. Me and AJ are going to be on.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna get here like about a half an hour before it starts. So if you hit any traffic or something, I'll like delay or something. But
we'll be fine.
Oh, I'm not actually worried about it. But yeah, you're gonna get here. We're gonna do it in person. It's gonna be really fun. I gotta like think about how I'm gonna set it. I guess we can just put 2 chairs here and just to like put the microphone between us and we'll be fine, right? Yeah, this is gonna work.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, it's totally gonna be good. I'm looking forward to it.
3-person game this morning.
Yes. All right, everybody. That's a lot. Yeah. I don't think anyone was mean to you. I think you just came back to like this sort of a thing. Gonna record a Naruto episode. We'll have 2 going up real soon because I gotta put up last week's, everybody.
I love Greg Double's ass.